What's up, you guys? I know I'm kind of early. Made a mistake and hit that damn button. But it's all good. I am trying to get this tripod properly set up right now. Welcome in, welcome in. I am a little bit early, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm just trying to get this tripod set up properly, and then we're going to go in. We are going to go in. I don't know, maybe this will work. I don't want this to fall. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to fall, so let me get this right. So I'm here in the studio today, and of course, the topic of the day is understanding the music industry, but we're gonna wait. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna start until exactly 11 o'clock. So just bear with me as I am setting this up really, really quick. I'm setting this up really, really quick. So my apologies for not already being prepared, you guys. I am sorry, and I am sorry again. But I got you. Give me a second. Let me just set it up real quick. And all right. What's up, everybody? What's happening? Stone Paxton here. We're about to get started in a minute. Give me a second. I'm just trying to get all this stuff locked in right. Let's see what we got. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is up? Give me a minute. We're about to get started. It's not 11 yet, but it's not quite 11, but we're about to get started, so don't worry. Put your hands up in the air. London, Chi-Town, Amsterdam. Ladies, step to the floor.
See, I got more than love, baby. This from A to Z.
What's up? Can you guys hear me? What's up, you guys? We're gonna let a few more people get in here. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me good? Am I okay? Is my volume good and all that good stuff? You know, I had to, I had to. Let me say hello to my regular people. I had to switch up my set because I wanted to be here in the studio A, so that we could talk about this subject. And that is understanding the music industry and creating music. Now, I have my channel is a music channel. There we go. R. Wells, what's up, family? Understand that my channel is a music channel. But I talk about everything here. Auntie Mickey, what's up, Auntie Mickey? Elite on the beat, what's up? Thank you, family. This is just my A side. Like, I should have set the camera up where you could see everything, but you can't quite see everything because I got an A side and a B side. Elite on the beat. Yes, 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 yes. Make sure you guys hit the likes and the hearts, man. We're about to go in. Lyrical Child, what's up, family? Y'all can hear me good? We're going to let a few more people get in here, you guys, before we get started. I'm just testing something because a lot of people say they want me to also still talk about music and do the music stuff. So I'm just testing right now. I'm just testing. Share the live, hit like, get those hearts up, you guys. Let's build that algorithm up while we're up in here now, while we are here. And yes, we're going to do some production today as well, too. We are going to do some production, but we're going to talk about the music industry, but we are going to do some tracks today. We are going to do some tracks today, or I might do a beat breakdown and go over some stuff that I've laid. T-Rex, what's up, family? Waiting for a few more people to get up in it before we get started. Let's get those numbers up. I know it takes YouTube a minute sometimes, but that's why I do that pre thing. That's why I do that the pre-post, early, just to let people know I'm going live, you guys. Okay? So let's keep hitting those hearts. Let's bring that algorithm up before we get started. And we're going to talk about the music industry because I got a lot of people that follow my channel that's in the music industry and that inspire to be in the industry because it is a business that we're in. And so I want to talk about that. And my channel is a music channel. But I talk about everything on my channel, not just music, you guys. Even though it's a music channel, I talk about all things life. That's why it's music and life. Hold on. I'm trying to get myself situated here, you guys, because I don't have my stand for my laptop. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Let me just get this seat. Okay, cool. Here we go. I almost fell. All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about the music industry, and because that's a big business that I've been involved in, and that's a big part of my life. Once again, my channel is a music channel, but when Angie Stone passed, I decided to dedicate my channel to more than just about music, more than just about me trying to get you guys to buy my record, more than just me trying to get you guys to follow me as an artist. I love that. I want more people to interact with my music, Stone Paxton, as a music artist, right? But I realized when Angie Stone passed that my channel should be more than just about me talking about you guys, what a beat is, and working on the MPC and the new stuff that MPC has to offer. I know that me talking about my community and what's going on in my community would be a little bit more important than me promoting Akai, because my community has done more for me as an African-American man who is of many mixed cultures in my family, but I consider myself an African-American man. I felt like it is imperative that I speak of my community and not just about Akai. Akai does not pay my bills, you guys. Akai does not, and I want you to understand, for those of you that are wondering, Stone, I ain't seen you on the MPC. Akai does not pay my bills. Akai MPC does not pay my bills. Although I appreciate the things that the company Akai has, Andy Mack, they've been, Andy's been really nice to me through the years, but Akai doesn't pay my bills. And Akai doesn't, it's not a community thing as far as what the black community means to me. My community means more to me than this machine. Now, don't get me wrong. This machine has done a lot of great stuff for me. This equipment has done great things for me, but when this equipment is gone, my community is still standing. If I got rid of this tomorrow, I'm still a black guy. I'm still looked at as a black person, right? So to me, that would be more important. Why my channel, I said I'm going to make it a variety of things, not just about music production and Akai MPC, right? but make it about my community and what I stand for as a person and what I believe in and sharing information to my people. Rec, just Tosh and Manifest. Yes. Damaged Kisses. I hear you. I hear you. What's up, Damaged Kisses? Listen, let me say hello to a few of my people that's in here today. And let's get that number up. Y'all share this to y'all producers. We're talking about music today. Y'all been asking me to do this. You guys have been asking, Stone, you don't do your music on the channel no more. Stone, you're not laying beats no more. Stone. So today I decided to surprise you and come up in this studio. Vegas Coin Boys, I don't know what you said, but understand, you come up in this motherfucking channel, you come up in here with respect. Don't come up in here with no clown shit. Your daddy look like CeeLo Green. Fuck up out of here with that corny shit, nigga. You really, excuse me, ninja, because I said I was going to watch myself with that word. Don't come up in here with your hate, because I promise you one thing. When it comes to music production, you can't touch me. Now, we're going to have that conversation, because any producers coming up in here on that hate or anybody coming up here on that weird shit, hey, what's up? What's up, Jess Josh? What's happening, family? I'm going to say to you, you're welcome to get on camera live, and I bet you I will spank that butt on production. I bet you I will spank that butt on production. Try it if you want. Don't come up in there with your corny jokes. Not today. Not today. We will not be dealing with that bullshit today. So listen, you got everybody wanting to be in the music industry. Ooh, that's nasty. That's nasty. Anyway, I don't know. That's something I was messing around with. You got everybody wanting to be in the music industry. But I'm going to be transparently honest. Some people are not quite prepared for the music industry. Some people are not. I know you probably think, yeah, yo, I'm a dope producer, I'm a dope artist. But one thing you might leave out is your mind is not dope. Your respect level is not dope. The reason why most people, what's up, CC Funk One? Auntie Mickey said they're miserable. Benjamin, yeah, they are, Auntie Mickey. Oh, Benjamin, listen, let me tell you why they do. Okay, I want you to understand. Today, you're going to get a different level of people come in here because I'm talking about music production. So I want you to understand, be prepared for it. Be prepared for it, because everybody thinks they are a good producer when all they're doing, the producers these days, copy and paste. Let's call it for what it is. Let's just be 100% transparent. Y'all ain't going to pick up that drum set behind me and play no drums. Y'all not going to even sit on the keyboard and play a chord. And you're not going to pick up a guitar and figure out a chord. That's the real truth. So, hey, Benjamin, trust me, today, they're going to be up in here today, Benjamin, because I'm talking about music production, and it's always a subject that a lot of trolls are music producers. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of trolls on YouTube are music producers. Yeah, or wannabe. And I'm going to say wannabe because I'm going to say wannabe because it's the truth. Wannabe music producers. Now, I'm not on here to bash nobody. Whatever your dreams are your dreams. Bridget said, the trolls are humble, horrible. Nothing is wrong with Stone's hair. Oh, yeah, they just, this hair thing seems to be I don't know what it is about the hair thing. Listen, I was in a store yesterday. I kid you not. Now, you remember every time we're on the live, we deal with people calling me Lenny Kravitz, Prince. I've been called Maxwell. You name it, but never Stone Paxton. But check this out. The funniest thing, I was in a store yesterday, and this older black man was in one of those Segway chairs, and he was riding around. And he left the store past me. He said, man, you mind me of Prince, man. And you know what? I couldn't be mad at him. I said, I don't know what it is because I look nothing like Prince. But I will say again, my great-great-grandfather's name was Prince Nelson, and that's a fact. That was my great-great-grandfather's name, Prince Nelson, for real. And my great-great-grandmother's name is Phoebe Nelson. That's a fact. So put those together and come up with whatever you want to come up with. Cece say it's your swag, Stone. Bridget say, I love Prince. Listen, speaking of trolls, that situation that happened a couple of days ago, I was telling you about the subscriber. I'm glad that I'm able to have a team of people who can read through people's bullshit. My moderators and other people that come to my channel that respect me, that will email me and tell me stuff that they see. And I will say again, anybody on my channel, because I forgot my little disclaimer I do in the beginning. Anybody that's on my channel that is subscribed to, and let me be very clear so you understand, because maybe you don't know. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Anybody that is subscribed to my channel, that's subscribed to any person that is still speaking negative, saying my name in a negative connotation or way, I don't want you on my channel. Now, I'm going to be clear and say that one more time. Anybody that is following me or subscribed to me that is on another person's channel that is speaking negative of me, I don't give a fuck if they speaking negative of me every other day. If they've said my name and it's come out of their mouth in the comment section, everybody's laughing and joking and ha ha ha, Stone Paxton, I don't want you to subscribe to my channel. No disrespect, but I went through enough bullshit with other content creators to have their subscribers on my channel being trolls to run back and do whatever they do. Maybe to help that channel do good. Maybe you guys think by running back, telling them any little thing that you deem to be Stone saying something, oh, I think he was talking about you. That means that you're miserable, just like the trolls. What I've learned about trolls is these people, I feel bad for them. They're very, very miserable people, just like the subscribers that go into other people's channel and then run to another content creator to start mess. Your life is horrible. The truth. There's something that's not right about your life because you have dedicated your life, especially the grown ones, especially the grown folks, especially the grown folks. I can see that with young people, because that's some young shit. But the grown folks that do it, there is no excuse whatsoever for you to be on somebody's channel and be running amok from channel to channel, being messy. I want to know, before I get started on this music conversation, I want to know, what is it that you get out of doing that? Is that channel paying you money to troll other channels? Are you feeling validated? Are you feeling important, like you're somebody because you're able to go to another channel and tell them another channel might be talking shit about them? Does that make you feel important to that channel? Because I've read the conversations that people on these channels that are messy have. Oh, yeah, really? Oh, my God, I can't believe. Oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. You're fine. Oh, forget. I hate that person. Oh, I hate Stone. Oh, Stone gets on my nerves. Oh, he makes me sick. None of y'all motherfuckers ever met me in my life. Shows you how weird you are. Subscribers, which are part-time trolls. It shows how weird all of you that go in people's comment section and state comments about somebody you don't know. Imagine this. Imagine you living in a neighborhood and all of your neighbors have prejudged who you are and they've never met you. This is what happens in this YouTube streets. None of you guys know me, including the trolls that come on my channel, but you got so much to say about me. Just let that sink in, and let that sink in, and somehow you have believed another narrative to make you feel like what you're doing is okay. To be a troll, it's okay to go over the channels and run back like you reporting to daddy or mama. Does that make you feel good? When you go to bed at night, do you feel completed? Have you made $1 million in doing that? Is that financial stability? I'm just trying to understand what you're getting from the shit. Is it financial stability to be a troll, to also be on people's channel as a troll? Because that's really being a troll too, running back and forth from channel to channel. Have you made $1 million doing that? Has it stabilized your life? Oh, I get it. You feel like you got friends. You got friends of motherfuckers you never even met. Most of the motherfuckers on there never even met each other. Most subscribers on people's channel don't even know each other. But there's a community thing that happens by coming into the live. So you feel like you know people. And some of you might even pick up the phone and call each other. But none of you guys have ever even met, typically the content creator whose channel that you ride so hard for. Most of you probably won't even meet the person, man or woman. But you ride for them as if they are God. I'm just going to call it for what it is. I would never send my subscribers over to nobody's channel to troll. I would never abuse my channel for the purpose of my gain. I would never say, hey, subscribers, do me a favor. Go over to another channel and do this for me. That's abusing your power. Not only that, you're sending those people kind of down the river. You're leading them astray because you're misusing your power. You're misusing your power. It's a fact. Why have a platform, and all I'm going to do with my platform with some content creators is use it in the wrong way. Now, it doesn't matter what you say about me because you don't sit at the same table Stone Paxton does. And I'm going to say this again. Does not ever matter what none of y'all subscribers, content creators think about me because you're not privileged to sit at the same table I sit at, which is why I will never mention your name again. Any of the ones that have been negative about me, I will never mention your name again. Your name will never come out of my mouth. I will not give you that power because I know that's what people want me to do. They want me to mention their name. So it looks like Stone Paxton is going back and forth. That's why you haven't heard me mention people's name. I'm not going to do it. Why am I going to give you power out of my own damn mouth? Why am I going to mention your name to give you power out of my mouth? Why? I understand the power I have as a person. I understand the power I have in the relationships I have in the entertainment industry. But why am I going to give a troll power? Why am I going to give a subscriber / troll? Because sometimes some subscribers can become trolls. Why am I going to give them power or another content creator by mentioning that content creator's name? That's what they want. Listen, content creators that have beefs, if you want to stop a beef, stop mentioning their fucking names. Because then what? They're going to look stupid by constantly talking about you. And eventually, people will get tired of hearing them mention your motherfucking name. That's a fact. It will slowly burn out. It has no choice but to burn out. You can't keep talking about somebody that ain't saying shit about you. But if they are trying to troll your name to get views, they're going to do what they think works. But when they see it's not working, eventually, it doesn't matter who it is, me or anybody, you will eventually stop. Find a new purpose. Because mentioning my name is not going to do shit for you because you don't sit at the table with Stone Paxton. And you never will. The best you're going to be is a YouTube content creator, the negative ones. That's the best you're going to be, and hope and pray to God that God allows you to go beyond the status of a content creator and this turns into something greater. Ask yourself, what is your future plans as a content creator? Where do you plan to go in the future? Wherever you're at now is where you're going to be at in the future. That's a fact. A little bit of detail about life. I'm 55 years old. I lived long enough. I'm old enough to be your daddy. So one of the content creators that seems to always mention my name, I'm actually old enough to be your dad. I have sons your age. But at the end of the day, you make money from YouTube. What's your 10-year plan? Where do you plan to be 10 years from now? You should be asking yourself that question. Where do you see yourself? A messy content creator? Using your subscribers like you're a Jim Jones? Like making your subscribers do weird shit? Troll people's channel? Is that what you plan to be? Because it's not gonna last. I'm just telling you, it's not going to last. I ain't got it. Listen, history has shown that. History has shown that it's not gonna last. You might have a cool little ride, but it's not gonna last. Because when those people wake up and realize that they've been fooled as well, and they find another channel that's more interesting, that's more informative, they're just gonna disappear on their own. Nobody's gonna have to tell them to leave you. They're just gonna wake up and go, I'm tired of the negativity. God, you know what? Every time I come here, it's always negative. Because we can walk outside and choose what negative we want. We can go outside and literally say, I want that negative, I want that negative. It's nothing special. A negative content creator and YouTube channel is nothing special. Although it seems to be exciting when it's happening. When people are battling online, it seems to be fun. Ooh, what's the tea? Go to this channel, go to that channel. But at the end of the day, your spirit doesn't want that every day, nor does it really want it. And the real people wake up and put 2 and 2 together, and you start losing subscribers because you're full of shit and you're full of negativity, and people ain't got time for that shit, man. People want hope. People want hope. People want to believe, even if it's not true. They want to believe that there's a better life than to get on YouTube when they're already having issues at home and in their life, and then deal with YouTube issues, hearing content creators go back and forth. They might entertain it for a little bit, but then after a while, they're going to wake up and go, I can't do this no more. I can't. You know how many people come to my YouTube channel and they email me in my inbox and say, Stone, thank you for a positive channel. Hit the hearts, y'all. Hit those hearts. Hit the hearts, please. Please, please hit those hearts. If you're not donating, please hit the hearts, y'all. That's all I ask. Do you know how many people come to my channel and they go in my inbox and they say to me, Stone Paxton, thank you for such a positive channel. Vince Jackson say people will be people. Well, we ain't talking about just people, Vince Jackson. We're talking about YouTube content creators. And if you're not a content creator, then it'll be hard for you to understand if you've never been in this content creator battle, sir. The Digigrapper said, yes, I saw my friend Angie Stone on a topic and have yet to check out, but we're here. Thank you. I appreciate you. The Digi Photographer, thank you. Damaged Kisses says, I sub many channels. However, I did not ever troll people's channels, but I see it happening. I'm hardly participating, and I am not active. And if I decide to go in while they're live, yeah, because what's the point? Yes, I'm a former member, Zizzy Bra. I'm a former member of the Rick James Stone City Band. I do. If you go look up my records, a lot of my stuff is funk too, my personal records that are out. All I'm saying, y'all, is do we really get on YouTube for drama? Vince Jackson. I know you would like to get on here and talk about Trump. I have no problem with that, but this is not a Trump forum today. And if you're not interested in what I'm talking about, please leave before I block you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not on here for the bullshit, okay? It's okay for you to say that, but I'm not talking about that today, my ninja. So please, man, stop. Damaged Kisses said, it's rare I'm participating in like maybe 3 channels I participate in this entire sector. Thank you, Damaged Kisses. We really appreciate you. The Digitographer, you're welcome. No, I appreciate you. Hopefully you're subscribed to my channel. Listen, my channel is about life. That's why it's called Stone Paxton Music and Life. Music and life. All things life, all things community, how to make life better, how to help people get along, how to help people understand what's going on in the world when they might not know, because some people can't read. So my topic is not just gonna be about politics, religion, or relationship. It's gonna be, I still do music. I am a recording artist. I'm a musician, a composer, producer. which is why I wanted to talk about the music industry today. You have an industry that everybody wants to be a part of. Everybody. Everybody wants to be in the music or film industry. All right? I want you guys to understand something. In order to be in any business, you first got to know that business well, right? You guys agree? In order to be in any business, you have to first know that business well. The music industry generates $29.6 billion a year. The U.S. market alone, $17.1 billion, and streaming services, both paid and unsupported, are the primary revenue drivers, okay? Global recorded music, when I say 29.6 billion, 4.8, it's a 4.8 increase over the years. So the music industry has continued to grow. So if you're saying as an artist or producer, I'm gonna be in the music, I wanna be an artist, I wanna be a singer, I'm a rapper, oh, I'm a dope producer. Because everybody think they produce now. Everybody and their mama think they produce. Just like liquor stores in the black neighborhood and churches. There's tons of them. Everybody thinks they are a producer. And 99.9% don't even know the business. But they want to be in the business, but they think they know about a business that they've never been in. And they'll get on a channel like this and troll me, not even understanding my history in the music industry and how long I've been in this business. Let me read some things for you guys. U.S. recorded music revenues. In 2023, U.S. market alone generated $17.1 billion. I want you to think about that, making the 8th consecutive year of growth. It's the 8th year of growth, you guys. Y'all see what's going on? The music industry is prospering in a major way. But yet artists are not making the money they should be making, which is something that I'm a member of the Grammys. So we lobby for certain laws to be passed. And one of those laws is artists not making enough money. What can we do to make sure that artists are making money to be able to sustain themselves? New York has passed some laws when it comes to artists being paid royalties, but this needs to happen in every state all over the world. It needs to be a dominant thing so that artists cannot have to go work a job. They should be able to get in the studio and record, and that should be a basic wage. And New York has lobbied for that. It should be a basic wage for recording artists. And I want you guys to understand, whoever your favorite artist is, independent or major, you might think that they're making a lot of money. If they don't own their masters, if they do not control their copyright and publishing, then they're not really making what you think. Even though their publishing might be administered by a company, they still got to wait to get their money. And then they got to hope that that administrating company does not rob them of their publishing money. Then they got to hope whatever record company that's distributing their records is not going to steal their mechanical royalties. So it's so many crazy elements with this business, but what makes no sense to me is how there is a $17.1 billion business, a business that's generating $17.1 billion, right, in revenue, and artists are not even really seeing a lot of that money, especially independent artists. I'll continue to read to you. Streaming dominance. Streaming services, including both paid subscriptions and ad-supported formats, account for a targeted share of revenue in the U.S. Streaming comprises of 84% of the total revenue paid subscriptions, reaching a record high in 2022. Now, you got to remember, I remember back in 1997, I was telling D-Shot, E40, Snoop, Corrupt, a lot of industry people, I was telling them that in the future, there was not going to be any record stores. People thought that I was crazy. I kid you not. People would say, Stone, you tripping, man. Stop that, man. Record stores ain't going nowhere, man. Stone, record stores are not going, boy, stop that. I ain't even trying to hear that, Stone. This is what people used to say to me back then. I'm talking about 1997, y'all. I signed one of the first digital, with one of the first companies that started digital distribution. And they were called The Orchard. And their concept was a digital music world. Music in the future is going to go digital. This is what The Orchard was saying back then. Me being the person I am a visionary. It didn't take me long to see what they were saying. So when I was approached about distribution with my company, I immediately said yes. This was before there was any digital distribution. It was still physical, record stores. I'm gonna show y'all where I'm at, y'all. Where my mind is, how I think as a person who sees the future. I said, damn, that's the future of music. Damn, that is where music is going to go. Okay, so I need to make sure that I am on the front end. Who knows where that future is going to be? So I decided to jump on board in 1997. Look at that. Is my volume low, you guys? You're saying you can't hear me? Are you guys saying you can't hear me? Let me know. Let me know if I need to turn my volume up. Do I need to turn my volume up? Can you guys hear me? I need to know. Just say, turn it up or it's okay. Okay, so, Sweet Rain, what's wrong with your volume? So I want you to understand about the music business. Go volume. You say go volume, and I don't understand, Kimberly. Everybody's saying it's okay. Yeah, it's got to be your computer. Because everybody's saying they can hear me, then I don't want to turn mine up too loud and distort it. Somebody said turn it up. I'll turn it up just a little bit. Mystique said turn it up. Okay, let me turn my. If I get closer, is that okay? If I'm here, is it fine if I'm closer? If I get closer, it's not distorting, is it? I just didn't want to get too close to the mic. Cece, what did you say? I didn't see what you said. Should I turn the volume up? Okay, so if I get closer, it's better for you guys. Okay, so let me stay close. Okay, I'll stay this close. This close is okay? You guys can hear me better when I'm this close, because I'll stay right here. Okay, good. Mystique said audio is good. That's Mystique's audio person, so she would know. She's in the studio all the time, so. Okay. So listen. You got to be a visionary to stay in the music industry. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be in this business, but you damn sure need to learn about this business if you want to be in it. The music industry is not a forgiving business. People's publishing, you saw what happened to Angie Stone. You saw that I was helping Angie, my brother and I, get her publishing back. So when I have these conversations about the music industry, my conviction for that too is just like it is when I talk about anything else. I am very serious about it, you guys. It's my life. It's what I live for. If you don't learn this business, you will get robbed. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you don't learn this business, you will get robbed. So be prepared. Hit those hearts, you guys. Be prepared to get robbed. If you don't learn this business, you will get robbed. The music industry is not a forgiving business. I know you want the girls, you want the money, you want the, people, we're in a narcissist time period of life where everybody feels like they're somebody. The digitographer said there is a setting for his volume TRF through this live. Sounds low on headsets. Benjamin says sounds like the mob. Hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. turn it up just a little bit. Let's try that. Okay, now, is that better? Now I turned it up. And a lot of times if I turn it up, it will start a popping will happen because I turned it up. So if you hear popping, you're probably just gonna have to deal with it, you guys. How many don't knows until you freestyle? Bro, don't come up in there with the bullshit, bro. Don't come up in my channel. You might be new, but understand, motherfuckers get blocked up in this channel with the bullshit. Now, I don't freestyle. Go read my channel description if you want to know about me and what I do. I'm not a fucking freestyle rapper. Now, ain't nothing wrong with freestyling. I work with a lot of great rappers, but don't get on there with the bullshit, please. I don't need the bullshit today. Okay? I'm trying to educate y'all motherfuckers. Now, let's get back to this. The music industry that all of you guys want to be in, the business that you say that you're good at, you say you're a good rapper, you say you're a good producer, share this live with all the artists that you believe in. Anybody, nephew, cousin, uncle, he could be an OG trying to be in the game. Share this live with somebody that is active in the music industry every single day. From production, writing, to marketing, promotions, breaking records, touring. I've done it all. I'm not just on here capping. I work with all kinds of incredible people in the music industry. I'm on here talking to you about understanding the music industry. Because there's a lot of you that think you know, and you don't. My family's in the music industry. My cousin has the #1 record label out of Texas called LMG Music Group. His record label just made $10 million in sales. He has an artist named Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was one of his artists. Cheddar the Connect, T. Wayne. He had Hurricane Chris. They had the Holly Berry song. He's got a new artist by the name of Lil Jeremy. My cousin is also promoting that tour that's going around with the country artist Boots on the Ground song. He's behind that and promoting that tour. So my family, I got a lot of family members that are either in politics or the music industry. I grew up in this business from a kid. This is all I know. All I know is the music industry and music. Actually, the music industry and martial arts. It's all I've done all my life. So when I get on here and talk to you, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from a person that's in the trenches. And I'm only trying to help you understand a business that you say you want to be in. Shouts out from Seattle. Seattle in the house. You know what? The digitographer, did you go to the hip-hop show that came to Seattle? And had I known you before, I would have plugged you in because my play sister, Sugar T, E40's sister, they brought the hip-hop show to Seattle. Or was it? Yeah, Seattle. Yeah, they brought it to Seattle. And I was supposed to have been there because they were going to give me an award, but I didn't feel like flying all the way to Seattle. So did you hear about it? And next year when they come, I'll plug you in. I'll let you know. Here's a business that's generating billions of dollars. So you think that there'd be more people on my channel interested, especially the ones say, Stone, you ain't doing no more videos about music. I don't see you on your... Yes, I am. I'm still on here doing music. My life is music. Yeah, so those are my people. That was Sugar T that put that on. I supposed to have been there. So next year I'll be there because they were giving me an award. I just didn't come. Kent Washington in the house. Auntie Mickey's out there. Yeah, so I want artists to understand. You're working at McDonald's right now. You might be working at Amazon Prime. You might be working at a job you don't like. And in your mind, you're thinking, damn, man, I want to just do music. This is what all artists say, man, I just want to do, man, I just want to do music, man. This is it, y'all, here we go. It's the youngsters. I just want to do music, man. Really? You want to just, that's all I want to do. But you got to know the business. You can't just want to do music and you don't know the business. Damaged Kisses said, I'm just a music lover, just someone passionate about music in general. I love learning about music, and I love being able to get to know artists regardless of their status in the industry. Yeah, you are a lover of music, Damage Kisses, and you support a lot of artists from different genres of music. That's what I love about you. I see your passion. As I get to know you more, I appreciate you more, Damage Kisses. I will honestly say that. You've been a solid person from the time that I met you. And you definitely support artists. Artists, understand, producers, writers, arrangers, all y'all on my channel. I got a big music community that follows Stone Paxton's channel. But you're saying to Stone and other people, all I want to do is music, cuz. All I want to do is music, cuz. That's what y'all saying, man. All I want to do is music. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to dedicate what it takes? Hit the hearts, you guys. Hit the hearts. It costs not one single dime to hit those hearts and to hit like on my channel. It's really not costing you nothing but your finger time. So if you love my channel and what I talk about, please show respect and help keep that algorithm going. Benjamin said, it's a beautiful art that's unfortunately been hijacked by greed and thug-like elements. A rapper said he saw more honor in dealing on the streets because you know the consequences. Music, not so much. Oh, there's consequences in music when it goes extremely bad, depending on who you're dealing with. But I feel what he's saying. You're right. You know on the streets you do something, what's going to happen. In the music industry, there's attorneys and lawyers, and if you go after somebody, even if they owe you money, you'll get caught up. But in history, it's been known for people to disappear in the music industry. Nigga, get the fuck up out of my live with your dumb shit. Use a dumb ninja. You a really dumb one. 514, what? Him man, Mishra, you, whatever the fuck you are, you're a fuck up. And this channel is not for you. So yes, you will be blocked indefinitely, you dumb piece of shit, you. Goodbye. And goodbye again. We don't need that kind of energy here. You ain't here to learn. You just here to be a troll. Culinary, hold on. I want to say this right. Culinary Cardoso 5499. I hope I said that right. What's up, family? Thank you for coming in. Hopefully you are subscribed. If not, hopefully you will subscribe. What's up, Silent Money Production? Shylon Monk say heavy setup. Oh, you haven't seen nothing, brother. I'd have to go further back. You got to see the A room and B room. It's a lot of gear in here. But there's a lot of hits made from this studio. A lot of celebrities come here and record. A lot of celebrities come here and record. Marilee Mall, what's up? All I'm trying to do is help my fellow young producers, artists, and the OGs, not just the young ones, because there's a lot of old dummies too. Now, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. There's a lot of old school cats like myself. I'm an old school cat. Thank you for subbing, and I appreciate you for that. The digitographer, thank you. There's a lot of OGs like, I'm 55, but I know the game. I'm 55, but my production is still on point. From hip-hop music to R&B to funk. My stuff is to jazz, you name it. It's still on point. I'm one of them OGs that didn't get lost in the shuffle. I stay up to date with business and all. There's a lot of people that come to me to consult with me because I turn it into results. Everything I do are results, period. So when I'm on here giving you my time, I'm giving you my time to educate you. I charge people for saying the same thing I'm telling you and consulting. I'm getting on here freely giving you advice. You want to make it in the music industry? You need to learn everything about this business. You want to stay in the music industry? You need to learn everything about the music business. You want to be a great producer? Hang amongst great producers. CC Funk once said, I like when you had Nate and Lannis Hughes on. Yeah, those are my brothers from the Stone City band, the former band I was in. Yeah, it was Funk. I'm going to have them back again, but I'm going to have Nate Lannis and Levi Ruffin. I'm going to have all three of them on here. And other people, I got so many interviews, I just haven't lined them up yet. Silent Money said, Brother Stone is the truth. Understand, listen, that's just respect. Silent Money understands. He understands my history. He knows a little bit of my history, so he gets it. See, when people know, they get it. So I know you might be coming across my YouTube channel right now. You're saying, who the fuck is this guy? Who's the guy with this? Who's the guy with the glasses? Understand, I am somebody that can give you advice to help your music career as an independent artist, because I've done it. I've charted constantly. Billboard, iTunes Top 100 USA, UK, Spain, Amsterdam, London, Czechoslovakia, Russia, the Philippines, every country you can imagine I've charted in. I've had 47 top 5 and top 100 charting records in the UK soul charts and in the US and different countries. I get radio play all over the world. As I'm speaking, I check my radio numbers every day. I get play everywhere. I built my model and it works. CC Funk once said, I love Levi. We spoken. Yeah, Levi is a great person. He's funnier than shit. Damaged Kisses said, set in them ways. Hey, I'm old and I can be a dummy sometimes in general. If I let that ego take the stage, no one is perfect. I'm still a work in progress. Damaged Kisses. I am too. I ain't even gonna bullshit you. But I'm aware of that, and that's what makes me better because I know that, right? And we both know that. Digitographer said, I do music industry documentary films more so. I wanted to sell Angie's story rights. Let me tell you something. Digitographer, there's a few things going on, and man, I'll tell you, Inquisitive Peace Stone, they don't want to listen. No, they don't. But they want, when they see me open up the plaques, they're like, hey, bro, how did you do that? How did you? The Digitographer. Oh, man, it's so crazy right now to have a conversation with you off of YouTube. But it's crazy, family. I got a documentary I'm working on right now. It's about my life, though. You know what I'm saying? It's called Stone Paxton, Leaving No Stone Unturned. But the story of Angie has to be told. Now, they've already put together an actual documentary. They haven't released it yet. The Digitographer, they haven't released it yet. I don't know when they will, but that's kind of like was already in the works, you know what I mean? But it still needs to be more. And it needs to be a documentary done from her friends, people around her that knew her. Whoever does, I don't know, the Digitographer, who knows, I might do it. Or you could do it. Because it needs to be a documentary done with people from the industry that knew her. It needs to be a documentary done from that direction. Of people that knew Angie Stone, what they thought about her, what they feel like happened. Now I'm giving you some Stone Paxton pointers because I'm on the inside. That would be a documentary that would work. Interview people that knew her. That would be something different. Benjamin said, 55 is young, providing one takes care of themselves and bearing any unforeseen circumstances, you take care of yourself and you will have another 20 years. Heck, look at Mick Jagger and Diana Ross. Yeah. Hey, listen, I plan to live to 140. Benjamin, I ain't going nowhere. I plan to live to 140 years old. The Digitographer said, I'm listening. This needed to be told. Yes, the Digitographer facts. Auntie Mickey, thank you, Auntie Mickey. Thank you, Auntie Mickey. My auntie always looks out for me. Benjamin said, why not? Silent Money said, Brother Stone has a lot of knowledge in the music game. So people, when he gives you free time and knowledge, please, people, let him hook you up. Barbara said, I would love to see a documentary on Angie. There is a documentary that was in the works on Angie. I don't know if it's done yet. I know that it was being put together. It should have already been out. So I don't know when that's going to happen. But what I'm saying to my brother, the Digitographer, is that I'll see about having D'Angelo on. I don't know if he will do it because of the controversy with what happened. I don't know. And if he did, he probably wouldn't speak nothing about the whole situation because it's still a mess relatively, CC Funk One. But I will reach out and just to see if, D'Angelo family, can you do my interview? Can you come on my live? I'm going to ask him. Listen, the music industry is a beautiful business when you know the business. When you know that there's money to be made, and when you learn how to control your publishing rights, your copyright, you know how to administer your own and create your own publishing companies so you can administrate your own publishing. It then becomes a more valuable business than not. And get an investor to invest in you and give them a piece of the publishing by your hand. So now you got your money to market your records. You don't have to spend your personal money. Learn how points work. Learn how copyright works. Then, most importantly, if you don't own a studio, have a studio budget and have a great producer who understands the logistics of music production. I'm not talking about copy and paste. I am talking about real music production. You're only as strong as your team. If you've never had any history in the music industry, how do you expect to understand an industry that you don't know? Like any business, in order to know that business, you got to understand the business, which means you at least have to have some sort of background or history with it. Or you hire somebody that knows. Now, most people don't want to spend the money to hire the right people. They would rather make the mistakes, lose the money and make the mistakes, then wake up and have an epiphany like, oh, maybe if I just hired the right person, I could have done this right. Yeah, you think? Hell yeah, you could have done it right the first time around. I just don't understand when people, I don't understand when people say they want to really understand the music industry. They really don't want to understand the music industry. I got all these people texting me. I don't know why people text me while I'm sitting right here. Why would you text me while I'm sitting right here on my live? Goodness gracious, man. Really? Really? Crazy, man. People just don't get enough. Anyway, you guys, somebody asked me a question. Hold on. CC Funk said, how much 1 point? 1 point is 1%. There's 14 points on the record. So do the math, y'all. My documentary that's coming is called Stone Paxton Leaving No Stone Unturned. The reason why I'm calling it that is because this guy from the UK wrote a beautiful article about me, and he called it Leaving No Stone Unturned, Stone Paxton. So I decided to make my documentary, name my documentary the same name. There's 14 points on the record, you guys. So producers typically get 3 points a single. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, typically I negotiate 3 points, right? I want 3 points off of my song. Sometimes some people are like, I'll give you 2, especially if it's a whole album. They're like, well, man, listen, since you got 10 songs, can we just do 2 points a song? And I'm like, no, I can get 3. I want 3 points because that's what I can get as a producer. Now, you could actually get more as a producer if you haven't received it in advance up front. But now you're seeing what I'm saying. This business is $17.1 billion in revenue in streaming. And then this is what they're paying producers. This is what record companies are giving producers 3 points, and artists are getting 1 point. Like, this shit ain't really making no sense to me. It's not making much sense to me. It's highway robbery. So how do you not get robbed in the music industry? Now, don't forget, there's 200% in publishing. Now, the points is the mechanical side. The points are on the mechanical side. What's mechanical, you say? Stone, what's mechanical? Mechanical are downloads. They used to be physical record sales, vinyl, CDs. Now they're also downloads. When a person downloads your record, is considered a mechanical sale. So you got publishing. This is how artists get paid. Publishing, which is radio play, streaming radio, radio play, streaming radio, sheet music, and then you got mechanicals, which is download, vinyl, physical sales. Then you have live performances, which artists get to keep all that money. But you also have the publishing administration. The administrator who administrates your publishing also gets a percentage. So now you got the publishing side and you got the mechanical side. You also have the instrumental side, which is under publishing, which is a lot of producers, if they produce a record they don't know, they can control the instrumental rights of their records. So let's say when I produce a record, I typically tell people I'm keeping my instrumental rights. They go, what do you mean, Stone? Well, I'm keeping the rights to my instrumental, especially if I didn't get an advance as a producer on the record. I'm keeping 100% my instrumental rights. I'm not forfeiting or allowing anybody to control my instrumental rights. And I'm keeping my copyright. And if it was cut in my studio, I'm keeping the masters, unless the record company has broken me a piece of that money off. This is how it works. Unless the record company has given me some sort of advance, I'm typically gonna because record companies like to control the master. But I typically go, well, listen, this was cut in my studio, sir, this was cut in my studio, sir. So I'm gonna control that master. And I'm also going to control my instrumental rights. Well, we're gonna give you a check for publishing, Stone. So can we work out the copyright? We want to control the copyright. Then that's a conversation that can happen. But producers have more control when they don't accept upfront money. I've usually don't accept the money. I'm like, no, I want to be paid off for record one as a producer, so I don't want no money. Barbara Weaver says, Stone, I love your heart. You seem to be a very carefree person that shows love until someone pisses you off. You once told me I was an earth angel like Angel. Thank you. Barbara, you are amazing. You're awesome. And I will say that again. And thank you for being an awesome person. We don't have enough of that. And a lot of people on my channel are beautiful and awesome people, and I love that. And I give that credit to each and every one of you guys. Barbara is one of those, as many as the other ones that are on here as well. What direction do you want to go as a producer or an artist? Do you want to be subject to always have to have someone control the narrative of your copyright and your publishing? If you're chasing the quick money is going to be a fast outcome, and it's not going to work in your favor. Understand that. Yes, you say, I want an advance. I need 200,000, or I need 50,000 as a producer. I need some money, man. Y'all got a budget, man. Y'all got to give me some money. Okay, cool. Well, then you forfeit and waive your rights to get paid off a record one. Think about this. Think about all the actors that have had movies, and the director said, I don't have a big budget. So that major star says, you know what, it's okay. I'll work off the back end. And then that movie ends up becoming a blockbuster. And now that actor has a percentage of the back end. This is the reason why I don't always take upfront money on publishing deals with artists. Like, let's say I did a record on an artist and they have a record deal. They come to me and then they're saying the record company wants to talk to you because I got to sign a release for my record, right? Now the record company has to call me to get the release for my production. Well, I might not release it. I might say, no, it's cool. I'll let you guys, you can put it on the album, but I don't want no money, because before you sign a release, they got to break off a piece of check. I don't want the money, y'all. I want to be paid off for record one. The record company goes, what do you mean, Stone? And I'm like, you know what I mean. I don't want no money. I'm going to control that song. That you might have 13 on the album, but I'm going to control mine. I'll give you guys a piece of the publishing because I am a publisher as well. Now, that's an argument. And some record companies be like, well, we ain't doing the deal. They'll tell the artist, well, if you can't control that producer or get them to sign, then we're just not even going to use that producer's song. And that's when a producer either has to make a decision to say, walk away, or stick to what you believe in. Many, many times I have said, fuck it. I'm just going to walk away, and I lost being on a project But to me, it was better for me to walk away from that than to not get what I feel like I was deserved. So I stuck to my guns. Was it a bad decision? That's neither here or there. That's up to interpretation. But as a businessman, I set a presence with those people that if they come back to me again, that record company, they got to play by what I have laid down as the rules. I don't care what you do with another producer. Every producer is not desperate for the money. Because understand, some people will take a record deal today if they can be famous. They don't care about the money. There's a lot of artists just want to be famous and on TV, popular, be around, everybody know their name, but they don't. Do you want to be somebody that has wealth or somebody that people know? Because there are some people you don't know in this business that are wealthy and you've never heard their name. They're behind the scenes as producers and writers. And they're wealthy as hell. And you would never even know who they are. You just know the stars. And it's a lot of stars that are broke, by the way. I'm being honest. Side of Money said, do not chase the quick money because you as an artist or producer want to be in the position to have the most control and say. Facts. Side of Money, yeah. I mean, and I tell artists this all the time because everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to be famous, y'all. I mean, that people want to be famous so bad. They're willing to put themselves in harm's way because they want to be famous. Being famous is more acceptable to them than having true power and control of what they have created. CC said fame is not worth it. Oh, absolutely not. I took the long road. I'm one of the guys who decided to take the long road. I didn't take any weird deals. Every time a deal came to me that was strange, I turned it down. I did not take the weird deals that were attached to weird shit. I said no. Sweet Rain said, I don't know why they want to be famous. Because that's where we're at now, Sweet Rain. CC Funk 1 said, I'm glad I didn't get to make records in my teens. I wanted to, but I'm glad I didn't. I did. And believe me, man, Sweet Rain, you don't understand. Like in the 80s, it was in the late 70s and 80s, it was never about, we didn't even care about the money. We wanted to be on stage, man. Like when we grew up, it was about being on stage and about the girls. That's how they got artists. This was every artist. This is how every artist thought, especially the black artists. They wanted to be on stage and they wanted the girls. And that's how a lot of black artists got caught up and got robbed. Henceforth, a lot of them still getting robbed. Digitographer said, I'm sorry, we will work on that. What happened? CC, what happened? Oh, gotcha, Digitographer. Thank you for that. Thank you, Digitographer. Yeah, my mods are awesome. They're good folks, man. They're amazing. Marilyn Mall said, truth bidden by the fame. Absolutely. Sweet Rain says, I love the creators behind the scenes, the producers, the musical engineers, songwriters, etc. Time said, Stone, it was definitely about making music and getting them girls. Look at New Edition when they first started. They did not make any money. They were getting robbed. Brother Time nailed it. They were getting robbed. Y'all hit those hearts, y'all. Let's keep that algorithm popping. Hit the hearts, please. Hit the hearts, please. Yeah, we didn't care about the money, y'all. I promise you we didn't. We wanted to get on stage. We wanted to meet the girls afterwards. That's all we cared about. Quick question, Godfrey Singer said, is producers advance and producers fees the same? Okay, producers advance are what's advanced when, let's say, okay, the producer fee is whatever your fee is. Like, My fee is about $5,000 a song. That's the low end, is what I accept. Like I only take 5,000 a song, right? And that's my fee. That's what I want to be paid, win or lose. Now, the producer's advance is something different, right? So let's say the record company did a publishing deal with you. They have an advance that they give producers. Let's say you're bringing art. Like my deal I had with Grand Jury Production was also to bring artists in, bring acts in, right? And that advance typically also is an advance to produce the record. So typically producers will go and get a vanity deal with a record label, right? The vanity deal is not a quite a record deal, but it allows the producer to put the artist under them. Then the producer has the actual deal with the record label. So they will advance the producer's advance for that whole record, right? That's typically how it works, advance for that whole album. Now, within that advance, that producer also will give that artist a percentage, but the producer will control the publishing as well, along with the record company. That's one producer's advance. Another producer's advance is if an artist comes to you and they're like, hey, I need you to produce this record, right? Shamar Shine, what's up, family? Man, thank you, family. I appreciate you for tuning in. And let's say an artist came to you and said, I need you to produce this record. And you said, okay. You asked the artist, well, what kind of advance? Well, you kind of don't want to ask the artist because the artist will tell you anything. They're not going to be, a lot of them are not going to be honest about what their budget is. So you tell the artist, I need to talk to the record company because they say, well, I told the record company you're going to produce my record. You say, okay, well, what's the budget? They say, I don't know. You tell them I need to talk to the record company before I do any work on you because I need to know what the advance is. Then the record company, the artist is going to be more than likely not wanting you to talk to the record company because if they lied to you about the advance and you talk to the record company and the record company said, well, we gave them $100,000 advance to put together the whole album. So that'll give you an idea what you should be paid. Most artists are not even going to tell you that. I hate to tell you. And most of the time, they're not even going to let you talk to the record company. But let's say you get lucky and they give you the information to talk to the A&R. A&R might say, our budget for producers are $5,000 or $10,000 a song. There you go. That's our advance that we're giving producers. That's it. So you're either going to take that or work with that or be like, I want more. And typically, if you say you want more, if they've set aside the advance, they say no. No, we're not going to do that. Inquisitive P said, good for you, and I'm glad that I didn't continue modeling, acting. That shit is crazy. Yes, it is. I used to model back in the day. That shit there's some weird shit that used to happen. Silent Money said, listen, guys, Brother Stone is cooking straight facts. And he's giving all this info for free, so bless this brother. Absolutely, y'all, give me where the heart's at. And we need to make sure these likes are matching. Where are the hearts, you guys? Y'all say y'all love my channel. You guys say you love me bringing knowledge to you. Godfrey, your singer, said, thanks for educating me on that, sir. Godfrey, anytime. Anytime. Just know that if an advance comes to you through an artist, it's typically not going to be the number you think because it's probably typically going to be more money there. But the artists are not going to tell you what it is because they're not going to want you to have a bigger piece of whatever money they got advanced already. So you're just going to have to name your price. And it's better not to even ask an artist if they're coming to you what that budget is. Just tell them what you want. Merrily Mall, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Stuff like that means a lot to me, you guys. This keeps my channel flying high. Time said, I believe when you become an artist, you shouldn't really understand the business. He said, you should really understand the business side of the industry and always understand what your master's in publishing is. Most of them don't, Brother Time. Most artists that get in this business, they just want to be in it. They want to be cool. They want to be known. The ones these days, they don't even give a fuck. Facts. They don't even care. The ones these days, they don't care. If they can get a record on the radio where they can call their friends and say, hey, mom, hey, cousin, I'm in the music industry. That's me on the radio. Hit the hearts, you guys. Hit the hearts. I'm doing this for all of my people in my channel that say to me, Stone, I don't see you in the studio. I don't see you talking about the music industry. I'm here today. Where are you? Let's talk. Brother Time says, Stone, between me and you and the Lord, it's why I believe Sam Cooke is not Sam Cooke is not with us anymore. Sam Cooke had started a black distribution company. Understand, you guys, Sam Cooke has started a black distribution company with his partner. Sam Cooke had spoken to most of the black artists who were going to go with his distribution company. Sweet Rain said, Truth said, I feel they need to take the time to learn all this. And out in it, all this and the in and outs of the business. Sweet Rain, absolutely. They need to, but most of them are not going to do it. They'll be telling the stories about how they got robbed, how somebody got them because they didn't know the business. Brother Time, I'm going to tell you something. Sam Cooke was about to take over the industry as a black executive, and they didn't want the competition. Every black artist would have signed with him for distribution, and they knew that. Camino said, you've been giving game way before YouTube, and thanks for all the great info you have. Camino, thank you. I want you guys to read what my brother Camino 8680 said. He said, you've been giving game way before YouTube, and thanks for all the great info you share. That's facts. This is somebody that's known me for some years. He's an artist. He knows. I've been like this before there was YouTube. I spoke to people the same exact way I'm speaking now, trying to get people educated on the game so they can stop asking me, how you do it, Stone? How you able to do it, Stone? How you performing overseas? How you charting? Stone, how you making a living off the music industry? The digitographer said, oh, do check out the Sam Cooke documentary. Great story behind this topic. It is. And I know Sam's family. So I've sat down many, many hours and asked tons of questions. Y'all know I love my elders now. I'm one of the ones, I sit down with the old folks and ask questions because I want to know about the history. When I met Little Richard, I asked him tons of questions. When you guys see Gene Anderson, Poo Poo Man on my channel, and I interview him, same thing. You wait till you see the questions that I'm going to ask him. But not only that, in real life, I ask him questions because I know that he was around with Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Red Fox. In order to know history, you got to talk to the historians, and more so the ones that have lived it and that was there. Sweet Rain says, producers, artists, musicians that I still love sit his artists down and explain the breakdown to them on percentages of everything. That's what I do. An artist can never say Stone don't teach them. And all those artists, Marilyn Moss say, we have had generational differences. Well, as Sam was here, Sam was educating black folks already. Time said, what is a 360 deal? Can you explain that to the people in the chat? In the TLC, in that TLC have that deal. TLC, okay, so let me say this about the 360 deal. People think the 360 deal is new, but it's not. Artists, understand record industry 360 deals have been around. They've been around since the inception of the music industry, which is why Little Richard was literally working for peanuts. Like, that's not a metaphor. Little Richard was out on the road touring, and they were paying him peanuts. I didn't believe the story, so when I met him, I asked him, was that a true story? And he said, yes, sir, it was. Yeah, they was giving me peanuts. That's what they was literally paying him, peanuts. They was just feeding him. They were robbing him. And then later on, Michael Jackson bought his whole catalog and gave it to him. And gave it to him. The same catalog he was being robbed, taken for. Michael Jackson bought it later on in his later years. And before Little Richard passed away, Michael Jackson literally gave him all of his songs. 360 deals allow, they will give the artist a lump sum of money, which I was surprised that Madonna did a 360 deal. There's a lot of artists doing it. I think the reason why a lot of artists are doing it now, Brother Time says, why Sam Cooke was so smart to get his publishing and his masters. And I believe he was the first of his generation. If anybody knew Sam Cooke, he was not singing for free. No, he wasn't. Sam Cooke was a low-key Chi-Town gangster. 360 Deals allows them to have a piece of everything. Your intellectual property, your merchandising, T-shirts, your rights to your name usage for films, everything. And in return, what they do, they give you a huge amount of money. Let's say you say, give me 40 million. They say, okay. But back in the day, they weren't giving shit. They were just doing 360 deals and taking everything. Now, the new 360 deals that were reactivated kind of go like, okay, well, listen, if we give you 20 million, we want to control everything. We want a piece of everything. Or we give you 40 million, we want 60% of everything or 70%. Those are the new 360 deals. They're a little bit, I'm not going to say a little bit better, but they make more sense because the artist has more power to say what they want. And if they don't agree to it, then they just don't do it. But 360 deals were made. Now they're made for a lot of artists who are selling their catalogs because they're cashing out to have a lump sum of money. Time said, I believe Prince was on the Jay Leno show and talking about it. What Stone is talking about is about a Mariah Carey's deal that was classic. Oh, Prince tore her apart on that. Prince was like, it ain't making sense. I mean, he really dug deep. He was trying to be nice about it. 360 deals might sound great. 360 deals might sound amazing. When you want that upfront cash, 30 million, 20 million, this is why you see some artists are not doing the 360 deals and they're doing what you call, they're doing catalog acquisitions. They're just selling all of their catalog or a big percentage of it. They're cashing out because they figure they can make new music. So they're cashing out on their current value of the catalog they have. Durkio said, who's your favorite rapper? Old school or new school, Durkio? Damaged Kiss said, I love Prince. I remember him speaking about the music industry on that show. Yeah, Prince was the truth. Let me tell you what Prince used to say. Prince used to say, like, Black lives and books, albums still matter. Now let that sink in. He used to say, like, Black lives and books, albums still matter. What Prince was saying is, why y'all ain't making albums? How come y'all ain't making albums? Y'all want to know why the market for singles have became real popular? Let me tell you guys why. Because most of you probably don't have an idea. Pac was a friend of mine. I met Pac in '92. Pac was a great artist. I love Pac, but I love a lot of artists. The Rainmaker said, blessings, everyone. Listen. Prince said, CC Funk once said, Prince said, if anybody who signs one of those is crazy, but it's a free country. You can do what you want. Good luck. There's a lot of artists now who are selling their full catalogs. They're cashing out. They want that upfront money. So they're saying, give me 20, 30 million. You can take the whole catalog or a partial of it. Time said, it's why you must read the fine print and always have a good lawyer. I mean, a lawyer you know for years. I mean, a lawyer that you have over for dinner and you go to his house for dinner. Read that paper facts. Silent Money said, Ray Charles, Sam Cooke, MJ Prince, all new. Oh, Ray Charles was a cold piece of work. Let's talk Ray Charles now. Ray Charles owned his masters. Ray Charles, you talk about a blind man who was smart and sharp. That man did not play no games. I got to meet him once, but I never got to ask him the questions I wanted. I wish when I was right there with him, I was there in the dressing room, backstage. I wish I could ask him questions, man. Ray Charles is one person that I wish I'd have just picked his brain, and I'm sure he would have talked to me. I was right there with him. I was right there. I wish I'd have asked Sly Stone more questions. I was right there with him backstage. I wish I'd asked him more questions. Rick didn't own his masters. Not yet, he didn't. No. Nope, he didn't. Time said, I don't mean to bring up Diddy, but Diddy used that bad boy lawyers to do business with making the band. And Dunn brothers and sisters did not make any money off the MTV. It went all to Diddy. Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't have a good, but here's the thing though. Diddy did turn around and give masters, Faith Evans masters back. He gave West Name his masters back. Leanne, what's up, Leanne? Sending love back to you, Leanne. Diddy did give some of the masters back to some of the artists, though. I will give him that. He did. He really did. Marilyn Mall said, was just talking about Ray yesterday. He was the truth. Ray was the truth. Yeah, Brother Time, he did give some of them out. I don't know how many, but I know he gave back. I think Lil C's. I know Faith for sure. And then the other rapper that was with him, Maze, he gave his back too. The Inquisitive say, funny, I watched that movie again last night. I got to watch it again. Independent artists, where y'all at? Producers, where y'all at? Everybody want to be in this music game. I'm looking in my comment section. I don't see none of my producers up in here like y'all say y'all want to be all Stone. You ain't talk about music. You haven't been. Where y'all at? Damage could say, even now, everything is digital. I get it as far as independent artists because they are doing everything themselves. But I want an actual vinyl. I still do vinyls and CDs, Damage Kisses. I still do as an artist because there's a big market for it over in Japan and over in the UK. They order my records. It's in the record stores. Godfrey said, you've met great artists in your time. I would be remiss if I didn't ask, but did you ever get to meet? I did get to meet Michael. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Michael was funny. I got to meet. Listen, let me tell you something. I will be honest with you guys. I've met people that I never thought that I'd ever be able to meet. Not only did I meet Michael, Michael's father I called him Uncle Joe. Joe lived here in Vegas. I was around Joe a lot, and if I wasn't around him, he'd be calling me, asking me, where am I at, and telling me he's about to do a get-together, come to the get-together. Time says, Stone, I know Jackie Jackson. I know the brothers, Jermaine. Time says, Stone, you know when you did something wrong when you was young, and your mother or dad or Big Mama knew you was wrong. In my day, I got a beating, and whatever I stole or did, I had to apologize. Oh, I remember them days. You remember the double switches? You remember those double switches? Go outside, get the 2 switches. Grandma would twist it. Okay, Damage Kisses, you need to get my vinyl then because mine is a collector's. Sweet Rain said, my producer friend has his own vinyl label company and Bad Talent. Man, indeed, vinyl is the best. Let me tell you something, Sweet Rain. I've been doing CDs and vinyl, and I never stop. When people stop, I never stop. I deal with the UK and Japan and all the exclusive stores. I never stop. Bridget said, I would have loved to meet Prince. I met Prince, too, more than once. Prince knew me personally by sight when he see me. When Prince was playing Vegas at the Rio, I was there probably 3 days a week, hanging out with my big brother, Lonnie Motley, my music director, bass player from the Parliament. CC Funk once said, Diddy took his artist publishing. He gave publishing back, but had them sign waivers so they could. Yes, he did do that. He did do that. For whatever reason, I don't know. But he did do that. Sweet Rain, let me tell you something. The biggest vinyl market is the UK and Japan. The US ain't buying vinyl like that. But now, DJs in the US are now getting their vinyl from the UK stores. So I've met DJs who know me because they'll hit me up and said, hey, I got your vinyl from Japan, or I bought your vinyl from a UK store. And they ask me, can I do a drop for their radio show? And I said, yeah, I got you, bro. No worries. I'll do the radio drop. Let me tell you guys something. On the digital thing, Demishka says, I know you put them out still, and you always appreciate when an artist has those. Yes, you do. Yeah, Diesel, what's up, family? Sweet Rain said, I would love to have met Prince, MJ Whitney, Aretha, and Mr. Rick James. I would have passed out to meet Rick no matter him being older than me. Rick was hot on sight. Rick was a great person. I met Whitney. You know, Bobby Brown came here and cooked, right? Came and recorded in the studio, cooked me some catfish. I got the video. I never posted it. Maybe I'll post the video. Bobby Brown in my kitchen cooked some catfish. We chanted. We meditated here in the studio. Chef Banner in the house, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm going to say again, it was beautiful. When Bobby was here, it was me, Bobby, Larry White, Bobby's son, Bobby's background vocalist, a friend of mine, Terrell, and we were all in here, and Bobby cooked up some of the best catfish right here in the house, and we cut vocals here in the studio. Shamir Shine said, music is directly connected to physical. Absolutely it is. It's a frequency vibrating on a high level. When I write songs, I choose certain frequencies because I know it's going to touch you and move you. Time said, yes, sir, Stone, but it was the best lesson of my life. Stone, it kept me, listen, I am with you on that, Brother Time. For real. Hey, them double switches, they didn't give us stitches, but it kept us out of trouble. I Camino said, Joe was a great man, and Reba was so humble. Yes, they were. Being born and raised in Gary, Indiana, felt like I was raised in the Jackson's house and Michael had a business mind. Yes, I Camino. Absolutely. Listen, let me tell you what's so weird about the Jacksons. Sacro Thread said, don't disrespect his wife, but that's my baby daddy. Listen, Bobby, let me tell y'all something, man. When Bobby was here, I had my Vietnamese buddy here, and we were putting up, okay, it was so much going on. He was here for 2 days. So when he was here, the second day, we were putting up flat screen TV in my living room. And Bobby was sitting on the couch. And the ladies were, I had a friend of mine and two Vietnamese ladies were cooking some Vietnamese rice, fried rice. And my Vietnamese friend, Bao, he was here, and he was helping me put up the TV. And Bobby said, yeah, you need some help, Stone? And me being me, I was like, man, I was thinking like, nah, Bob, I don't need no help. Because my thing was, I'm like, man, you done already worked hard enough in your life. But Bobby didn't want to feel like, I'm not the star, Bobby. This is why I have so much respect for him. He wanted to feel useful. He said, y'all need help putting the TV up? I said, nah, Bob, it's cool. We got it. He said, nah, I help. I said, nah, it's cool. I didn't want him helping because I'm like, I don't want you, Bobby Brown. I don't want you helping. But Bobby wanted to help. Okay, I met Keith before. Yep, I met Keith. Let me tell you, though, when I met the Jacksons, I got to know everybody separate. Like, Joe didn't introduce me to Michael. Joe didn't introduce me to Jackie. Joe didn't introduce me to Jermaine. All of it was weird. Brother Time said, one of my favorite songs, I believe my father passed away, Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. I believe my pops was talking to me in real time, Stone. That's one of my favorite songs too, Brother Time. When I hear that song, it's so melancholy. CC Funk said, my mom was good to us, so we return the same love and respect. Man, come on. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, so when I met Joe, I was at a gas station when I first moved to Las Vegas. And there was a girl that saw me. I think I told y'all the story on the video. She saw me, and she asked me if I was an artist. My cousin, who was 6'9", was with me. She said, would you like to meet Joe Jackson? But what she didn't know, my favorite song is Weird, Looking Inward. Well, Looking Inward, is that a Michael song? I like pinto beans. Anyway, the girl didn't know that in my younger years, I had been mailing Joe Jackson production demos. I like pinto beans. Thank you. Hopefully you become a subscriber to the channel. What song are you talking about? I used to mail Joe Jackson demos to try to get a record deal. Keith, which Keith? Silent Money. Silent Money says, Keith put me on to your music, Brother Stone. I appreciate that, man. Which key? So look, so man, I used to mill N-word by Big Black. I'm confused. I'm confused. I know a Big Black, a friend of mine. He's a rapper named Big Black, but I don't. Send us the link to the song. I'd love to hear it. Silent Money said Keith Jackson. Oh, Keith, wait a minute. Silent Money. Keith told you about me? Yo, that's crazy. Keith introduced you to my music? I haven't talked to Keith in a long time either. Real Domo, what's up, family? Thank you for stopping in, fam. Thank you. I appreciate you, family. Music industry conversation about the industry. And right now I'm telling the story about when I met Joe Jackson and the Jackson family. I Camino said you have Neo stories you want to share. Yeah, I'm going to finish with the Joe Jackson. I Camino, thank you for that. And I'll share you guys a story about my connection with Neo and Corey Clark from American Idol if I haven't shared before. So I've been mailing at 14 years old trying to get a record deal with Joe Jackson Production because I was like, well, damn. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Leanne. So, I was thinking, shit, Joe Jackson, he made Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. That's who I need to be signed to. So my mom used to laugh at me, not in a funny way, but she was like, my devotion to mailing these little 4-track demos to Joe Jackson Production in Las Vegas because his production company was from Vegas. And I used to mail them, y'all. I religiously never got a response. Never, ever, ever. Thank you, Bridget. Never got a response from Joe Jackson. Never got a response from the company saying, we don't like your demo. We do. And I just kept mailing them. Lo and behold, I moved to Vegas because I was getting my new publishing deal was out of L.A. with Warner Brothers, but I didn't want to live in L.A. because I was scared of earthquakes. The digitographers say, me too, appreciate the behind the music commentary. Thank you, brother. So I didn't want to be living in L.A. I remember Solo. I know the members of Solo. Shamir Shine said, physical copies of music, LP, CDs, cassettes, best way to experience other than live. If you make music, I got some. Shamir, if you are a member of my channel, you get a free Stone Paxton CD shipped to you. You just pay for the shipping. I've shipped out a lot, and it's beautiful music. Anyway, I've been mailing those CDs. Lo and behold, I moved to Vegas after mailing all them CDs as a young dude to Joe Jackson Production. Now, mind you, I was already in a group. We had a record deal with Dick Scott Entertainment, right? So I'd already done my thing. I was doing the music thing. But somehow I felt like I wanted to be a solo artist with Joe Jackson Productions. I like the sloth in the background. My kid would love it. That's my buddy. Those are my best friends, you guys. I'm still a big kid. So I'm in Vegas. Now look at this. I want you guys to see how manifestation works, which is why you got to be good to people. And at the same time, you got to watch what you put into your mind and what you manifest. Because whatever you think about, even when you're not thinking, is still in the back of your cerebral cortex. So imagine this. From 14 years old, and when I came to Vegas, I was in my 20s, finishing school and working for these record companies as a writer-producer. I'm at a gas station. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I am at a gas station. This tall model-like Caucasian girl, tall model. She was a beautiful black hair. Model with a European accent. She was talking like this. Hello, are you an artist? Are you an artist? She came over to the car as we were getting gas. And I said, how did you know? She says, you look like an artist. She said, I'd love to introduce you to Joe Jackson. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Dude named Joe Jackson? And my cousin laughed at me. I say a dude named Joe Jackson, or Joe Jackson as in Michael Jackson's father. She says, Joe Jackson, there's only one Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father. Yeah, she had a British accent, right? You can't make this shit you can't make up, right? This is real shit. My cousin, he's 6'9". He's been in all kinds of movies. You've seen him. I forgot some of the movies he's been in, but he's with me. So I don't know if she thought he was my bodyguard. Everywhere I went, they thought my cousin was my bodyguard. His name was Junior, but he was big as hell, right? So I said, You going to introduce me to Michael Jackson's dad? She says, absolutely. Hold on for a second. She called. She says, hello, Joseph. Yes, I have somebody that I want you to meet. He's a singer. He's an artist. Oh, you got to meet him, Joseph. Oh, he's amazing. He has a look. Oh, let me see. I'll call you back. She says, can you sing for me? And I sung something. I said, why? She said, I just want to see if you can sing. I sung. She called him back. Oh, he has a great, oh, Joseph, you got to meet him, Joseph. Okay, I'll bring him right now. She took me and my cousin to the house. We pull into the gate, Rancho Bel Air. Pull into the driveway. Get out the car, y'all. Get out the car, walk up to the door. You know, you got to understand, this was my dream. This was my dream since I was a kid. We pull up to we walk, get out the car, walk up to the doors, slow motion like a movie. This was like a scene from a damn movie. You can't make it up. We get out. We're walking up to the door. Miss Catherine opens the door. Hey, CC, you funny. Miss Jackson answers the door. I almost lose my mind. Granted, it ain't Michael. It's not Janet. It's not Jermaine. And this is Miss Jackson. You know what my thoughts were? This is the lady that had Michael Jackson. This is the lady that birthed the Jacksons. This woman right here. This is my other mom. I'm thinking about this is my new mom, y'all. Well, I still love my mom, but this is going to be my mom, too. So I called her mom. I said, how you doing, Mom? How you doing, Miss Jackson? How you doing? She said, hi, baby. How you doing? Joseph, hold on. Let me get him. She calls him on the intercom. Joseph, your guests are here. Listen, when Joseph Jackson comes out, Mr. Jackson, I call him Uncle Joe. Does it not, Godfrey, does this story not sound like it's some made-up shit? Even when I say it, it's hard for me to believe. I can't even believe that it happened that way. So a lot of my stories, yeah, Mama, yo, digitographer, yeah, Mama Jackson. I was like, that's going to be my mom. Joseph, Mr. Jackson comes out. She said, Joseph, your guest is here. And when he come out, she said, Joseph, he looks like one of the boys. He said, he do. He said, you look like one of my boys. He said, He said, you look just like one of the boys, don't he? His exact words. And from that day on, now I didn't get a record deal out of that. Hear me out. Cece said, Stone in Wonderland. L'Inquisitor said, I would love to. I would have fell right in. Yeah. He created, Cece said, the man and woman who created one of the best singers in dance. Yes, I was in their house. Do you understand? This is music royalty. The family. Do y'all understand that the Jacksons don't bring people to their house? I don't care who they are. Don't none of them let nobody into their homes. Strangers, people they've not met, people they don't know. They don't do that. Godfrey says, serendipity on steroids. What a great way to describe that, Godfrey. What a great way. That is such an excellent way to describe that. Serendipity on steroids. That is so beautiful. That is beautiful. That's a great way to describe it. Serendipity on steroids. You said it. I couldn't have said it any better. That's just beautiful. I love that, Godfrey. You can't make these. My stories be so amazing, man. I think when I tell them, people like, man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. That didn't happen to him. You guys, yes, it happened. It did. It happened, y'all. So Joseph asked me a series of questions. Uncle Joe. L'Inquisitor said they felt your good, honest vibes. Yes, they did. And I was in my early 20s then. Yak Diesel said, yes, believe it. Absolutely. So she tells, Mama Jackson tells, I'm going to call her Mama Jackson because I'm going to show respect. She tells Joe, she said, Joseph, he looks like one of the boys. He said, you do look like one of my, you look just like one of my boys. He can be one of the boys, huh, Catherine. She said, yep, he looked like one of the boys, Joseph. Then he started asking me questions. What am I doing? What am I doing with my music? What's going on with me? How did I end up in Vegas? I said, I'm here because I'm working for Warner Brothers as a producer, and I'm waiting, Grand Jury Warner Brothers, waiting for them to renew my contract. That's what I said to him. But also, I got other offers for other labels. But I said, can I share something with you, Mr. Jackson? At that time, I called him Mr. Jackson. He said, yeah, sure. I said, can I call my mom? Because my mom was still alive. He said, yes. I called my mom. I say, Mom, you won't believe where I'm at. But do you remember what I used to do when I was young? She said, well, you used to do a lot of stuff. I said, with the packages. Remember I used to put the demos together? She said, yeah, you used to mail them demos out to who was that? Michael Jackson's dad. I say, Mom, I'm here at the Jackson's house. She said, no, you ain't, baby. I said, yes, ma'am, I am. I say, Mom, can you tell them this story? I gave the phone to Joe, and I can't remember if it was speakerphone then. I can't remember. I think it was. I can't quite remember. But I know I handed the phone, and she shared the story with them, and they were in shock. My mom told them, this boy's been mailing demos to you guys since he was 14 years old, to Joe Jackson Production. Joe was blown away. Joe was blown away. He couldn't believe it. Miss Catherine was in shock. But guess what, you guys? Even I said to Mr. Joe, I said, Mr. Jackson, I said, even if you don't do anything with me, I have achieved my ultimate goal in the music industry. And he was confused. He said, what's that, young man? I said, I met you and I met your wife. I'm okay now. I'm okay now. I met you guys. I'm in your house. I can't believe I'm in your house. I met you guys. You know what? He said he had never had nobody say that. He said most people want something. Most people want a deal. I said, no, I'm okay now. I'm over that. I was 14. I wanted a deal then. But to meet you, do you understand what this does for me? To know that I stepped into your home and you gave me all this advice today. And from that point, he says, I want you to keep, this is my number, call me, keep in touch. Let's figure out how we can work together. I want to help you. But most importantly, I want you to stay in my life. I want you to be around. So make sure you keep in touch with me. And from that day, I said, okay, Uncle Joe. And I did it like this. I said, okay, Uncle Joe. Because I was waiting for him to say, don't call me Uncle Joe. I said, okay, Uncle Joe. And he was like, yeah, keep in touch. And he gave me his number, and I stayed in touch with him until the day he passed. Now, he never introduced me to Jackie and Jermaine or Michael. No, he did tell Michael about me, but I met Jermaine and Jackie through totally different sources. I met Jackie because he had signed my little cousin to a record deal. Godfrey said I would have went on crying. Godfrey, that day was one of the most emotional days for me. I'm not even going to lie. Listen, I called everybody and even people I didn't know. I was telling people everywhere I went randomly, hi, hey, I know you don't know me, but I just met Michael Jackson's dad. People thought I was crazy. Jackie Jackson signed my little cousin. His name was Dane. He signed him with a boys group. And I didn't know he had signed him. So my little cousin kept saying, somebody signed me to a deal that's really famous. I said, okay. He said, they're flying us to L.A. So I'd never met who was signing him at that time. Then all of a sudden, one day, my cousin says, you're going to get a call from this guy. His name is Mr. Jackson. And he wants to talk to you about helping me with choreography. I told him my cousin can help because you dance too. And I said, yeah, I can help because he needs the group to have choreography. And he needs to rehearse here in Vegas. So I get a call one day, and it was from Jackie Jackson. But this is how the phone call went, you guys. Wow, Camino said something deep. You are a Joe to a lot of people if you know it or not. Wow, bro, listen. What you just said is deep. What you just said to me is, and that's why being a gatekeeper, you got to be careful. Because if you're a gatekeeper, you got to pass on opportunities and help other people. I'm not saying you got to help them for free, but you got to help them. Your job is to pass on opportunity so that other people can make it too, can also get ahead in what they're trying to do. Camino, thank you, family. I appreciate you for that. So Jackie Jackson calls me. Once again, I didn't know this was going to be Jackie. He said it was going to be Mr. Jackson. Now, I knew it wasn't Joe, but this is my little cousin talking to me. So I'm thinking it's just a guy named Mr. Jackson. Lisa Cappy say, Stone, you're blessed by the best. Keep being the best. Thank you. So I get on the phone. The phone call goes like this. It's the funniest thing in the world, you guys. This is exactly how he sounded. Hello? Hello, may I speak to Stone? Who is this, man? This is Jackie. Click. I said, man, why is somebody playing on my phone? I'm looking at why are people playing games on my phone, trying to sound like Michael Jackson or something. The call comes back again. Ring, ring. Hello, Stone. This is Jackie Jackson. I say, okay, and my name is Michael Jackson. You're funny, man. This is Jackie Jackson. I said, man, quit playing on my phone, man. Jackie Jackson said, yeah, I'm Michael Jackson's brother. This is Jackie. I manage your cousin Dane. I said, man, why you sounding like Michael, man? Just what I said. I said, man, this is funny. Why are you trying to sound like Michael? He said, I'm not trying to sound like Michael. I'm just telling you I'm Jackie Jackson. He was talking just like this. So I said, and you're Jackie Jackson from the Jackson. He said, yeah. I say, the oldest Jackson. He said, yeah, that's me. I say, and you're the one that's managing my cousin? He said, yeah. I said, he told me a guy named, last name Jackson was calling, but he didn't tell me it was a Jackie Jackson. He said, yeah, well, I'm Jackie Jackson. So I'm the one that signed your cousin. And I said, okay, cool. Well, I said, well, nice to meet you. And I'm trying to figure out how to stop myself from laughing because he sounded like Michael. And I wanted to laugh. Inquisitive said, I met Michael at work. He came twice and he sang Heaven Can't Wait to Me. It was playing on the radio. Wow, see, that's rare and that's beautiful. So he tells me he needs my help to help my nephew with choreography. I said, okay, I can do it. I can do the choreography. I can put it together. Done deal, right? So I put that together for him. That's how I met Jackie. Fast forward, how did I meet Jermaine? Amir from Kool and the Gang calls me, and he says, hey, Stone, this is Amir. This is how Amir sounds, y'all. Y'all get to hear him live on my show. Hey, Stone, hey, can you go to L.A. with me? I said, when, Amir? He said, today. I said, damn, today? Yeah, can you go or not? I said, well, Amir, I'll go. I said, who else is going? He said, just me. I said, no, I'm going, Amir, because your ass fall asleep behind the wheel. I always worry about Amir from Kool and the Gang because he falls asleep behind the wheel. So I said, yeah, I'll go, Amir, no problem. He didn't tell me where we were going. He said, I got some meetings, so I want you to go with me. I said, I'll drive. He drove some, I drove some. We get to L.A., we're going through Sherman Oaks, and I'm looking at the house, and I said, oh, shit. I said, that looked like the original Jackson's home, the one in Sherman Oaks, Encino, right? I said, oh, shit. I said, oh, man. I said, this looks like, he said, it is. And he goes up to the gate, and they ring us in. And we go in, and I'm at the Jackson's house. This shit is so crazy. Like, it doesn't happen this way. I am at the Jackson's, the actual house. This time I meet Jermaine. Go figure. This time I meet Jermaine. And Miss Catherine was there. And when she sees me, she goes, oh, baby, I know him. That's Stone. Baby, I know. And so Jermaine goes, oh, nice to meet you. This is Amir's friend. She said, I've already met him in Vegas years ago. Your father knows him. The whole thing was like not even normal. Like when I tell people the story, I say, bro, like my stories are crazy. I love these stories because these stories seem so much like a storybook story, but they're real and they're my stories and I love them. And these are stories that are part of my documentary that's coming too. L'Inquisitive said it was me and him alone in the room, both shy. He looked and I looked, then started talking about everything like we knew each other. He was cool and so real. L'Inquisitive, what room, were you at a show? Was it a backstage event? Were you working for a company that he happened to be in? Like, how did you end up backstage in a room by yourself with Michael? Because you know that's rare. Because Michael always had people around him. Even when I was around him, there was people, but with Amir, he made him lead because, Amir was a friend of his. They grew up together. Amir grew up with the Jacksons. So Yak Diesel said, and that's beautiful. He sung to you, Linquisitive. Yeah, Michael thought I was cool. Yak Diesel said, Johnny Jackson was my best friend. Hood dad, Johnny Sir, was the drummer before they took off. Oh, yeah, he was. He was the original drummer. He sure was. I wonder is he still alive, Yak Diesel? The Inquisitive. That's a lucky moment. That's a lucky moment. I mean, the music industry is so amazing, you guys. It is. I've had some great opportunities, but listen, a lot of my opportunities came from me being in the right place at the right time. But also respect. I want artists to understand. A lot of the things that happened to me was being in the right place at the right time, and also respect. And people wanted to always see me win. Sweet Rain said, I love these stories. It shows just how rich in company of legends and a legend within your own right being around other legends. Linquisitive going to say, I'm just going to say I work in the medical field. Okay, Linquisitive, gotcha. No more need to be said. I feel you, sis. I'm with you 100%. That was a special moment you got to share. And guess what? That will be with you forever. And nobody will ever be able to understand it because that was such a special moment that only you got to experience. And that's beautiful. Hey, it was an honor to be around Michael and the Jacksons and just all the cool people I met. But and you got to remember too, somebody just said something about legend. Who said that? Sweet Rain said about legends. Me being amongst legends, a legend within your own right. This is what they call me in the music industry. Sweet Rain, they call me a living legend. This is what people in the industry call me. Not beginners, but legendary people call me a legend. Nothing I asked for, but something for sure I earned. Because I've written and produced and worked with nothing but legends. And they call me a legend. I didn't ask nobody to call Stone. I didn't say, hey, call me a legend. I'm Stone Paxton, the legend. That's what people have called me. And not just anybody. Legends have called me a legend. And I'm humbly accepting those things because I didn't call myself a legend. Linquisitive said, I love to tell you in person one day. Yes, absolutely. One day, Linquisitive, we'll meet and I'll share some other stories with you that I can't share on this live. Now, somebody, my brother, I Camino asked me to talk about my connection to Neo. I have met Lionel Richie, Sweet Rain. My good friend, Marva King, who you've seen here in the studio with me, she's sang background for Lionel Richie for years, and Prince. So I met Lionel Richie by way of being at a show and telling him that I knew her. And I actually never told her that I told Lionel Richie, and I was able to actually get backstage saying, yo, Lionel, I know I work with Marva King. You work with Marva? Hey, bring him back here. I'm actually going to tell her that now. But I used her name to get backstage. And it worked. Because he said, I've heard Marva's music. It's incredible. Like you produce. And I said, yes, sir. And he let me on backstage. So I did get to meet him. Plus, his nephew is a good friend of mine. Now, listen. Camino wanted me to tell you guys my connection with Neo. So back in Las Vegas, 1994-95, Marva, CC Funk. Have you heard the stuff that I produce and co-write on Marva? Super incredible. In 1994-95, I put together a group in Las Vegas by the name of Envy, E-N-V-Y. If you don't know the group, you can go look up the group on, you can Google the Apollo, Envy, the Apollo. That was my group. Now, mind you, on the Apollo, they sounded horrible. But when they were with me, they sounded excellent. Because I'm a vocalist. And my friend that stole the group from me, he's not a vocalist. So he sang, but he didn't have the thing I had to put groups together and know how to really make them sound the way they sound. So he stole them, and then he kind of started turning it upside down. Anyway, because of my connections and my relationships, they ended up with a record deal. I put the group together earlier, rehearsed them, songs, records that turned into opportunity for demos. The meeting I set up for them to go to, I couldn't make it to, so I sent my buddy to the meeting. He turned around and he stole my group from me. I had Neo. Neo had to be, because Corey Clark then was 13. So I think Neo had to be maybe 14. But I met Corey Clark first, and it was a talent show. I had my ex-wife at a talent show performing here in Las Vegas at a place called Lorenzi Park. Now, you see how my memory is? See how quick that came off my head? Lorenzi Park. This was back in 1994, Lorenzi Park. It was a talent show. And my ex-wife was in a group, and I named her group. I put the group together. They were called International Flavor. She was Filipino. It was a white girl and a black girl, and they were called International Flavor, right? I got them a performance in this talent show. Corey Clark from American Idol, the one that slept with Paula Abdul, he came up to me at 13. He said, "Excuse me, sir. I'm an artist. I'm looking for a manager. Can I sing for you?" And I said, "Psst." I said, "How old are you, man?" I think he said 13. I said, "Yeah, sing." He sung, and it wasn't popping. It just wasn't happening. When he sung, I said, "Your voice is cool." I said, "But you're more of a like background vocalist." I said, but you'll work good in a group." I said, "Do you have any friends?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Listen, here's my number. Call me tomorrow. Gather your friends, and I'll come and meet you, and I'll listen to everybody, and I'll put a group together. But you'll work great with a group, but your vocals are not really like lead vocalist kind of stuff. But you're gonna get better. But right now, you sound more like you could be a background vocalist, not a lead vocalist." So I got together with them, and I listened to the guys. And Neil had the strongest voice at that time out of all the 5 guys. Curtis Love said, "Wish I could have met you 10 years ago. I used to want to be a singer. I grew up singing in church." Brother Curtis, I wish you could have too. But guess what? You're meeting me now, brother. And if you are here at my channel, I hope that you subscribe. I hope you subscribe to my channel, family. So I made Neo the lead singer because I felt like Neo's voices, and even my buddy David agreed, yeah, Neo's got the strongest voice. So Neo was predominantly the lead vocalist. And so I set up a meeting in LA for them to get heard for a record deal. I couldn't make the meeting. So I asked my buddy David Wallace, I said, "Hey, can you take the guys to LA for the meeting?" "Oh, yeah, I got you." And he was, I consider him a friend of mine. At that time, David was a police officer, right? He worked with the juvenile office. He was a police officer. So I trusted him. He took them to LA after I'd had this group for a long time, for a while, and I created the name Envy. He took them to LA. When they came back from LA, they were no longer my group. He had stolen the group from me. And back then, he was a police officer. So he made a low-key threat to me to pretty much don't call them, don't bother them, don't say nothing, and leave it alone, or else. And I took it serious. I was a young guy then. I was like, 23, 24? He was a police officer. I wasn't going to go against that. And he stole my group from me, you guys. So, yes, when Neo tells the story, when he was always telling the story about Vegas, he wouldn't even mention David Wallace's name. I mean, you can't, when they say how you got your start, that means the beginning. That doesn't mean skip the beginning and go to the middle. When people ask me, "Stone, how you got your start?" I don't leave nobody out. I leave nobody out. Why black artists don't like to tell the real story of how they got their start, but white artists will give you the detail from the beginning. I was walking down the street in the peanut shop, and the guy heard me singing. He was standing in the window, and he said, "Hey, man, you could sing." And then he said, "Come inside," and he made a call, and yeah, that was the first person that believed in me. Black artists are the only artists that won't tell the story like it really is. For years, Neo would get on TV shows and say he was from Atlanta. He doesn't do that anymore. But when he would tell a story, he would talk about a guy from Atlanta that helped him get his deal, or that helped him get in the industry, when in reality, it started here with me. Because if it wasn't for me, the initial ignition with the introduction of the first deal and the first opportunities, it wouldn't have led to the other opportunities, because that's how it works. Yeah. That's how it works. My opportunities, I never defaulted on my management contract. I got them in front of the right people, and that led to other opportunities. You can't say your career started off when you started in a group named Envy, but yet it's on Apollo, and you still talk about Envy. Yeah, I was in the group named Envy, but you don't talk about Stone Paxton, who started the group Envy that puts you in the group. Corey Clark from American Idol. When he talk about American Idol and they ask him, you start, he don't mention my name. Neither one of them do. Why don't they do that? Ask yourself that question. But guess what? When magazines interview me and they find out and they want to ask me why, I heard that they want to know. They want me to tell the story. And they say, why do you think Neo doesn't want to mention? I said, I don't know, but guess what? When he tells his life story, when there's a documentary about his life or a movie, when they say the start, guess what, y'all? What you going to do, leave me out of the start? What you going to do, just not mention my name at all? You're never going to mention really how the start happened? That's what makes a great story about a start, is when you tell the truth about that start. Because it's an amazing start. Even the story of my buddy stealing the group from me, what a great story for Neo to tell, because that's the truth. What a great story that led into a lawsuit. My buddy, the same guy that stole Neo from me, I'm just going to say this without going too deep. My buddy that stole the group from me literally tried to take Neo to court and sue him for millions. And then they mentioned my name in court that he wasn't even the real original manager. A guy named Stone Paxton was. This is the truth. I'm not making this up. Real story. My buddy David Wallace tried to take Neo to court and sue him before he passed away. But he didn't have a lawsuit because he wasn't the original manager. I was. And that's all I'm going to say. Sweet Rain said, very ungrateful. Barbara, I'll see you later, Barbara. Be safe, okay? Listen, you guys, I know this story sounds crazy, as in all of my stories. But believe me when I tell you, I have some stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat, but they're all real. And none of it is made up. Neo, Corey Clark, they were always, when they were young, great artists. They were enthusiastic, excited, and all the guys in the group, willing to rehearse for hours. This is what I loved about those guys. They were always willing to rehearse for hours to be better and better. But you can't rob a person of their history when they were a part of your history. I Camino said, mad. I Camino, I know. Because I Camino, think about it. How hard is it to say, especially now, because Neo's living back in Vegas. So sooner or later, Neo's going to run into me. And we're going to look each other eye to eye. And I'm going to give him a hug. And I'm going to whisper in his ear and I'm going to say, you know, you could have been giving me my credit all these years. There was really no reason not to. I ain't mad at you. But now's the time to make it right. That's all I'm going to say to him. I don't need to yell and do nothing crazy. Now it's time to make it right. Brother, I was a part of your story. I was a part of your beginning. And I'm a reason why you're where you're at, whether you want to accept it or not. Godfrey say it's crazy considering you're also successful and probably know many people. Yeah, we all know the same people. Hey, listen, the guy that manages him, I was at his house. And I don't know if he knew I was the original guy that started the group. But literally, me and my boy, Rufus Black, this guy used to be my boy, Rufus Black's partner. He lives right here in Vegas. He's Neo's manager. I don't know if he's managing him now, but he was. Now, we were at his house talking business, just listening to records and songs. And somehow I kind of think he knew who I was, but I never mentioned. We never really got on the subject of Neo. That never came up. Typically, people are proud to mention who their clients are, but he never talked about Neo. And I thought that was kind of strange. We were talking about all kinds of other stuff. And he works with a lot of heavyweight artists. So I was there with my buddy Rufus Black. We were there, but he never mentioned Neo, even though I thought that was interesting. So I remember telling Rufus, when Rufus said, I work with Neo, I said, Rufus, I started Neo's career. I was the one that put him in the first group he was in. Now, I don't know. I think at first Rufus didn't believe me. But when you hear a person keep saying the same thing, you kind of got to go, well, man, he keeps saying the same exact story. I have no reason to lie. And I think after a while, Rufus realized, man, Stone ain't, I'm not saying he didn't believe me, but if you haven't heard, if you work with an artist and you never heard them mention somebody's name and their start, they keep saying another city, another person, then you're going to believe that artist's story, especially if you got paid to write for them. So I understood my boy Rufus' stance. He had worked with Neo, and so he hadn't heard Neo mention my name. So when Rufus was here in Vegas with me, and I'm telling him the story, Rufus was like, he kind of gave me that look, like he didn't believe me at first. And then when he heard somebody else say it that was around me, he started to see, damn, Stone saying the same story over and over again, it never changes. Then I think he started to realize, okay, and then now that Neo says he's from Vegas, because he didn't used to say that either, Camino said, I can see you telling Neo, I'm proud of you. And him asking why. Funny how some people, yeah. He would not ask why. He wouldn't ask why, but he'd just go, thanks. But I would definitely say, Camino, I just don't understand. Just can you tell me why you've never mentioned my name? But when it came to that court case with my buddy trying to sue you, and you felt like he has no right to sue you, you guys, your attorneys mentioned my name to disqualify him from having a lawsuit. So I was good enough to mention for that, but I wasn't good enough to mention to the public that your start started with a guy named Stone Paxton, who, by the way, put together the group that started your career. That's all you had to say. You ain't even got to embellish deep on my name. You didn't have to. All you had to say, yeah, I got my start with this guy named Stone Paxton, man. He put together a group named Envy. He put us together, and then another guy stole us from him. Yeah, that was how I got started, y'all, because that's the truth. CC say, Ribbits perfectly placed. Thank you, Sweet Rain. Brother Timothy in the house. Timothy, you've been quiet lately. That job been kicking your butt, huh? You've been coming home tired, huh? Real story, you guys. Not made up. The singer you love, called Neo, started with a guy right here who put together a group called Envy that I put him in, and Corey Clark from American Idol. Both of their careers started from a guy named Stone Paxton standing and sitting right here. No cap, as kids say. As a teenager say, no cap. All facts. Matthew Gaines said, interesting stories. Brother Matthew, thank you for following this channel. I hope that you subscribe, brother. I really appreciate it. We talk about all kinds of topics, not just music, but, we talk about community issues, political stuff, good stuff, though. Not nothing is going to, it gets kind of hot up in here sometimes. Some people get me hot to where sometimes you'll come in here and you might hear me saying stuff that might make you go, Stone, calm down. But it's me checking the trolls. It's never anything disrespectful to anyone. Let me see. Somebody said this. Hold on. Okay. Chef Banner said, what I've learned about you, Chef Banner said, what I've learned about you is you're always humble and keep every real and keep every always real. Keep it real, I think she's saying. Bong never acts like a high and mighty. I never do. I never do. I'm always down to earth, you guys. If you met me, you would not know I'm in the music industry unless you look at the way I am, my aura. Matthew Gaines says, small world, but care who meet on the way up. Thank you. Matthew says something deep. Small world, but be careful when you're meeting people on the way up. Thank you, Brother Matthew. He's right. He's saying what should be said. Leanne said, I love Stone stories because they're interesting. Be careful how you treat the people on your way up. Y'all, that is the realest of the realest. And it doesn't get any real. If anybody on here says, Stone, how did you get your start? I break my neck to remember every person that has anything to do with me being where I'm at now. I don't leave nobody out, not even the mailman down the street, if he had anything to do with it. The old lady with the cane down the street that might have inspired me. I mention everyone because that's the real truth. Neil and Corey Clark and the rest of the guys were young guys back then. Understand? They were young guys, man. They weren't adults. They didn't have cars to get to LA for meetings. They didn't have none of that. They didn't have money to get to New York City to the Apollo. They didn't. They didn't. And the crazy part is David, my partner, I used to record his albums in my studio. He had a gospel group. I even helped David, my partner that stole the group. I did a whole gospel album on him, his wife, and his friends in my studio, just to show you. Even through the years after he stole the group from me, him and I still remain friends again. When Neo went on and went on about his life and left David, when the group left David, I still remain his friend. And I never asked David, my friend, why did he steal the group from me? But as soon as he wanted to sue Neo, and Neo them dropped the bomb, they threw that ace and said, oh, by the way, you're not even the original manager. The original manager was a dude named Stone Paxton. Then I get a call from an attorney by the name of David Phillips here in Las Vegas saying, I didn't know you used to manage Neo and you put together the group Envy. I said, yeah. So now that made my buddy David Wallace case weak. So the only way he would have had a case is if I come on board to go with him against Neo, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, you guys. So some other crazy stuff happened. I'm not at liberty to speak of it, but I didn't really want to jump on board with the situation because I was mad that all this time that I've been still friends with David through the years that he didn't tell me that he was trying to sue Neo. He was trying to sue Neo, and he was being tricky by not even telling me about it. The same way he was tricky to steal the group, he was also being tricky to try to sue Neo, and then I find out he's trying to sue him for $10 million, some crazy number, and then you need my help. Nah, fuck that shit. CC said my ex-personalized plates were envy me. So I decided I didn't want to really be involved, but some other stuff happened in the process of that. Some other things happened that I can't talk about, but also David Wallace, my friend that stole the group, while that was happening, he ended up passing away. He was running for mayor of North Las Vegas. He passed away on a flight coming from, I think, Arizona. Sounds like a story, but it's all true. Sounds unreal, but it's true. It's a true story. Real story, y'all. CC said that's not a friend. You know what? And I really believe this guy was my friend. I really did. I'm not going to lie to you. Because think about it. Even though he stole my group, he stole the guys from me, I still remained his friend through the years. And he called me and said he wanted to work on a gospel album. I obliged him, and I worked on a gospel album with him. I brought him in my studio. I cut a whole album on him. Still got the pictures of that, of him and his gospel group, his wife and some friends. I did a whole album on them. Me still being the good old Stone Paxton, the good old dude that loves helping people, I continue to allow that person to put an arrow into my body, for the lack of better words. CC said I would stay in touch, but consider him cohort, not a friend. Cambodian Mystique said that's a backstabber. Willie8708 said, you're a good brother. Thank you, Brother Willie. That's one of my biggest problems, Brother Willie. That I'm not even going to lie to you. CC Funk One said, that says a lot about your person, my personality. Thank you, CC Funk One. Sweet Rain says, you're a good person with a good soul. Not too many people would help someone like that. Damaged Kisses said, now singing, fuck that. From Come Be Christ. Yeah, I need to sing that. Fuck that shit. I need to do that too. My biggest issue is my forgiving. I'm a Pisces. People hurt us and we forgive and we forgive and we forgive and we forgive. But when we finally wake up and we're done, we are done. Just know that. William Johnson, Brother Chill, said, good always prevails over evil. You'll never get ahead doing low-down stuff to folks. Matthew Gaines said, you are of good character. Thank you, Brother Matthew. Brother Matthew, I want you to know, now sometimes people come in my channel and I cuss. I'll get to cussing. Now, I'm going to let you know, disclaimer, but it's usually the trolls will come in here and I got to set them straight. That's the only time you hear me really saying crazy stuff. Damaged Kisses said, yeah, I'm not that nice, laughing out loud. I know you don't play, Damaged Kisses. Leanne said, it's a lesson learned, but will still need to be open to others. Don't allow that negativity to alter another's who may have a positive energy. Facts. That's what my mother used to say, Leanne. We all cuss. Most of us do. CC Funk say, I hope good versus evil is true. That's a fact. Sweet Rain said, at Stone Paxton, I thought you are an Aquarius like me or a Leo. Matthew said, still you're a good heart. Thank you, Brother Matthew. Sweet Rain, no, I'm a Pisces. But hey, you still got water in your sign. But I'm forgiving. I will forgive a person over and over and over because Pisces, we operate off of emotions. We're heartfelt people. We love people, man. We're dreamers. We're visionaries. We see things before they happen. But more so, we love people. But we don't trust at the same time. Here's the irony of it. We love, but at the same time, we don't trust. Matthew said, but still, you're a good heart, Stone. I'm with you. And I agree with that. I accept that. Thank you, Brother Matthew. Camino said February 24th. Mine's the 22nd. I think we talked about that before. Do right by Jesus. Scorpion said, that's your water sign, Stone. We don't play when you cross us. Loyalty. We are loyal to the T. Jack Diesel say, I feel you, brother. Scorpion's the same way. Scorpion and Pisces are compatible with friendships. Listen, check this out, though. I have forgiven people over. Listen, this is what I tell. Okay. To the ladies that I've had relationships through the years, which are very few, I've said to ladies, I will never leave you unless you're the one that make me leave you. I'm forgiving. I love forgiving people, but I like forgiving people that are worthy of the forgiveness. So if I forgive you and you keep repeating, whether that's a relationship or my friendship, it's all the same thing to me. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, that was weird, you guys. As I'm talking to you, I kid you not, there was a light that went up behind my, okay, this is crazy. I'm telling you, when I'm in the studio, hit those hearts, you guys. Hit the hearts, keep that algorithm popping. As I'm in the studio, you guys, and there's lights on me, every time I'm in here, there's some amazing orbs that happen. I ain't even making it up. So now I'm talking to you guys. Y'all saw me look over. There was a streak of light, beautiful light, white light that went up on the right side behind my speakers and camera here. I kid you not. And that happens every time that I'm on live, something like that, especially if I'm down here. And even upstairs has happened. It's always magical, y'all. It's just this energy in here is just amazing in my studio. Benjamin said, I just came back on. I heard just a bit. The Bible says the wicked can look like they're prospering, but they are on a slippery ground. In other words, calamity will come and they will not beforehand, and they will not beforehand. I know what you're trying to say, Brother Benjamin. Thank you for that. See, listen, one thing I love about my people on here. While Malara says, Stone, that's Angie, love. Thank you. I told y'all the story about one day I was in the studio and I saw Angie out the side of my eyes. Somebody tried to make fun of that. I'm like, no, don't make fun of that shit. Cambodian Mystique say, loyalty and hard work, it's hard to find these days. Bridget say, my mom's birthday is February the 20th. See, we got some Pisces up here. Cambodian Mystique said, magical things happen in the studio. Yes, they do. Hey, on a real note, I am so kind and good to the people around me. But now, don't get me wrong. Let me tell you a little bit about Stone Paxton. I'm a nice person. I can be friends with anybody. I'm a little funny sometimes, okay? And I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. I'll explain to you what I mean. William Johnson, Brother Chill, said, you have a hell of a story, and I am truly honored to know you. Not for your resume, that's hella impressive, but you are a cool-ass friend and cat, and I'll always be there for you because of your heart. Thank you, Brother Chill. Listen, that's one of the coolest brothers who just happened to be a police officer, LAPD, but that's one of the coolest brothers that I've met in years, and he's who he portrays to be. It's not just online. That's really him. Malara said on March 17th, I appreciate you, Brother Chill. William Johnson, I appreciate you. Leon said, you have nothing negative in your space. I would know, but there's only positive energies around your sources. Absolutely, Leanne. Facts. CC Funk said, George Clinton said once that Warner and Casablanca signed him as a producer. Is that why the band was paid like it was? Okay, you got to remember, CC Funk, George Clinton had two different record deals. One for the Parliament. Parliament was a doo-wop group. They wore pompadours and they had perms, and they were a doo-wop group, doo-wop. And then the Funkadelic was a funk band that was signed. So they had two different record deals. He had two different groups under two different record deals. And y'all probably don't know, but you know, George used to be a hairstylist from Detroit. George Clinton used to be a hairstylist, y'all. For those that don't know, fun fact, George Clinton used to do hair. All musicians, a lot of musicians used to do hair. They, you know, like I do hair. A lot of great musicians from back in the day knew how to do hair. George used to actually do hair. Benjamin Padilla says, Stone, one common denominator I found among people who live long is that they don't stress over much. Of course, they have issues like we all do in the human family, but they are not easily, exactly. See, here's the thing, too. I don't stress over much, but I Camino say, any updates on Troop music or shows? Troop is currently on tour all the time, brother I Camino. All the time. They're literally out on the road 2 or 3 days a week. Me and Al got some new albums that's about to drop as a duo. I'll keep you posted on that, too. Benjamin said, they don't let stress rule them. Exactly. Sire Production said, his wild hair from back then makes sense now. Yeah, listen, Sire, George is a hairstylist. He did hair. Him and the whole band. All those guys did hair. Marilyn Moss said, I'm a barber. Man, y'all making bank now. You guys are making bank. Leanne said, I did hair and have since the 70s. Listen, if it's worth anything for you great hairstylists on my live, I cut my hair all the time myself. Sometimes if I'm too lazy, I'll mess up in the back, which is rare, and I got to go to the barber for them to fix it a little bit. But I do pretty good because I've been cutting since I was like 14. So I cut my own hair. I do everything to my own hair. CC Funk said, what I mean was he was the only one signed. So, yes, CC Funk. Oh, my God, you're right. That's why a lot of those guys haven't received. Their argument was they hadn't received their money. And he was the only one signed to the label because he was pretty much both bands. He was signed to 2 different deals. He controlled the publishing, and as much as the royalties were coming to him. Facts. That's why I say the music industry, y'all, listen. This business is tricky. Sweet Rain said it looks good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm always experimenting. Like my hairstyles have always been, if I show y'all a picture, I think I showed you guys what I look. This is what I look like as a teenager. You're going to crack up. Y'all ready to laugh? You guys ready to laugh at me? Don't laugh at me. Okay. Y'all ready? And don't be laughing at me either. I Camino said, what? $100 a hair. $100 for haircuts now, 50 for kids. What? Bro, that's how much you charging? Wait, I Camino, you do hair too? Look, this was me back in the day. I mean, I haven't really, I kind of went back to my old school style. This is me as a teen. I was 19 on that picture. I was 19 years old, you guys. 19. $19 years old. Cyrus said, my mom used to get my brother and I take you guys to get haircuts. We ended up buying clippers from Thrifties and cut our own hair. Yeah, come on. Listen, I save about $60 a haircut. Princeton Street said, big brother Princeton, what we doing on this channel, family? We ain't doing that on this channel, family. Not on this channel. Moderators handle that. We ain't doing that here, family. Although I got a lot of brothers in my circles that's big cripping. We ain't on here doing that today. Not like that. They ain't doing that, family. Not on here. Not on here. Anyway, Leanne said, I like that. L'inquisitive said, that's a nice picture. Yeah, I was 19. L'inquisitive said, L'inquisitive said, that hair is fly. That was back 19 years. Listen, I just went back. I'm a hair guy. I Camino said, no, that's what I pay for my, what? I Camino, get out of here, bro. Are you serious? Benjamin said 1987. No, that was 1989. See, Sweet Rain said, love the throwback pic. Benjamin say 80s big hair. Yeah. Hey, that hair set like here. What's Media Network 951? What's up, Media Network 951 family? What's happening with you? Marilyn Mall say, can't laugh at the high top. That was not a high top fade. Y'all, you guys don't know your haircuts, man. That was not a high top fade. Let me show you this picture again. Brother Billy, what's up, family? Man, come on, y'all. Y'all don't know hairstyles? Shamir Shine said, bro, Dwayne Chandler, who was a master barber and was down with George and told me how they were. Yeah, they all were barbers, man, and a lot of people don't know that. Letha Robinson said, nice picture. I want you to study this picture. That is not a fade. Y'all tripping, man. That's not a high top fade. Why black people think if it sits up, it's a high top fade? That's not a high top fade. Take a look at it again. That's not a high top fade. That's a pompadour. But you can't tell because you're looking at it from the front. It's the same hairstyle I'm wearing now, except it was bigger. Now, a pompadour has, it's like, it has a slant to it. It's like, but I don't have the perm. I don't do the 50s perm, but I love my pompadours. That ain't no high top fade, y'all. Come on now. So my hair connoisseurs on here. Y'all talking about that's a high, that ain't no damn high, that ain't no high top fade. Listen, even now, I get people will look at my hair and they'll be like, oh, I like your high top fade. I said, that ain't no damn high, a high top fade goes straight up. It is a box shape. Okay, CC, the guy in that picture, he was an artist whose family was connected to Motown Records. And man, let me tell y'all something. No offense, but this dude sucked as an artist. And we were both performing at that. It was a convention we were performing at. And he was a horrible artist, but because his family member was a record executive, they He had a record deal with a major label back then. I was pissed. Back then, I was pissed, man. He didn't even have a look. I mean, I'm not hating y'all, but I'm just saying. Benjamin said, I wish I could cut my own hair. I wonder if in the future we will have AI robots. They already got them to cut. They already got the AI robots that cut hair. The machines are already ready to go. They can have memory chips to remember how we like it. Smart thinking, Benjamin, because they actually already have them. The media network said George was a barber in Plainsville, New Jersey. Yes, he was. He came to Detroit in the early 60s to try to secure a deal for Parliament with Motown Records. Yes, he did. You know your shit. They said the sound like the Temptations. Yeah. So he got the original deal with the Parliament because they were like a doo-wop group. They had the Pompadours and the Pompadours, the Perms, and the doo-wop group, and they was doo-wop. You know, y'all, come on, y'all. That was the Parliament. And then he had the other group, the Funkadelic. They were just uninhibited. They dressed wild, funky. They didn't care. The music was, you're right. Media network know they shit. I love when people come on here and know stuff. Chakro Head say, my childhood boyfriend, Anthony Hamilton, Anthony used to be a barber. Ooh-wee. Hold on. Sacro Threads. You and Anthony sitting in the tree. KISS. You know I had to do that. Yo, Anthony was a barber. Was he good? Now, when I see him, I'm going to say, hey, I know your ex-girl. Yo, Anthony. I'm going to be like this. Hey, yo, Ant. Hey, I know your ex-girlfriend. I know your ex, Ant. Benjamin said, what? This is crazy. Hard to keep up, man. Media Network say George Clinton and Sidney Barnes ran the Jobet Publishing for Motown in New York. Do you know who John Barnes is, Media Network? Yes, they did. You know who see, a lot of the guys that I hang with, Media Network, are Parliament members. My music director is a member of the Parliament, Lonnie Motley. Do you know John Barnes? Oh, yeah, Billy know his shit, trust me. Billy, yeah, you know your shit. Wait, I keep forgetting I'm talking to Billy. Yes, you do. Billy, I keep forgetting that's you. The Big Dice Chronicles says, great afternoon, Stone, to you. And what's up? The Big Dice Chronicles 7272 in the house, y'all. Listen, that's why George was able to switch up the game and have those two different vibes with the Parliament and the Funkadelic. John Barnes was Marvin King's husband. And I think John was related to Western name Barnes, to Sidney. I think they were related, for sure. Yeah, I think John was related to him. Listen, artists, producers, the key to making it in the music industry is only one thing. That is learning the business of music, learning and understanding copyright and publishing, investing your money back into yourself, and most importantly, out of all the things, studio. Release records, and not singles. The only reason why people talk singles are the DJs wanted to make more money because they stopped being able to make money from albums. So if they took the single theory, and if an artist is promoting the single, they knew that, oh, we can get paid to promote a single. We can get paid again. If they make artists think that it's a singles market, then all you're going to do is focus on promoting a single. But on an album, you might not only release nothing but 3 singles and go on to the next album. That singles market was by design. Trust and believe that. Why Prince said, like Black Lives and Books, albums still matter. So understand, y'all artists should be doing albums. I don't know why y'all dropping singles and never drop an album. Linquisitive said, this is so good, I have to step out for a while, but I have my ear pods on. No, Linquisitive, love it. I appreciate you. Listen, albums matter. Why y'all think y'all see me dropping albums? Yeah, I'll drop my singles to stay current because you're only as good as your last release. So if you ain't released nothing, then it's kind of like, what's there to talk about? Rig Tick and Golden World label. I remember those labels. Shamari Shine said, wow, Shamari, listen, artists should be releasing at least 2 albums a year. And as an independent artist, there's nothing stopping you from releasing 3 albums a year. Media Network said George does not own any of his, oh yeah, he's fighting for that shit. His publishing is owned by a company called, I know all that, Brother Billy. Bridgeport Publishing and Southfall Publishing, all the time copyrights owned by Army. That's what he's fighting for right now. Them boys did a good job on him. See, when you're caught up in the game and drugs can be a part of it and you're not paying attention and you're partying and kicking it, sometimes us as artists don't pay attention to what's happening. That's my brother Billy, you guys, Media Network. It's a great brother out of Arizona. He has a podcast channel. Yes, he sure does. Armand, and that's who George is going after. Him and also, I can't remember the other company, one of the bigger companies he's going after, because I spoke to them and they ain't happy. I mean, I spoke to George and they're not happy. Artists, as much as y'all probably pass through my live and feel like, man, I don't know, old boy, I ain't even gonna listen to him, man. I'm gonna tell you something. If you really want to make a living in this business, it's called the business of music for a reason. It's called the business of music for a reason. That was weird. When I tell y'all my studio vibrates at a very high energy, I'm not making it up. If you don't learn the business, you will not be in the business. Know that. The music industry is only made for artists that understand this business and understand how to utilize it right. Once again, artists should be in the studio every day making records. If you're not doing anything else and you don't hold a job and you're trying to survive as an artist, your job should be to cut records. That's why they call it the business of music. The business is the songs. The power are the songs, the records. That's the real power. If you have no catalog, you have no power as an artist. Even as an independent artist, if you have a catalog, you can talk shit. And it doesn't have to be worth a lot of money. It just has to generate as a whole a certain amount of money from your catalog, and you can utilize that catalog to borrow money against something that you have built. I want you to understand that you have a lot of power as an independent artist. And there's so much you can do, but if you don't know that you can do it and it's there for you to do, then you're never going to be able to do it. Do you know as an independent artist, if you have a catalog to 200-300 songs and you're generating at least $1,000 a year, you can go and borrow $50,000, possibly even $100,000 against your catalog? You can do that yourself. You don't have to go to a major label and beg them for a record deal. There's companies that will give you money off of your catalog to market, to say, okay, you need $50,000 to market, you need $25,000. They will review your catalog. They will see how well your catalog is doing. And they'll say, okay, how much you need? I got you. Do you guys know how many records I got in my catalog? 5,000 records in my catalog. I have 5,000 records in my between my safe and my other safe that I haven't even put out. I got a lot of records out, but I literally have 5,000 songs, and I'm constantly recreating new songs every day. There's a value now. It used to be you have to be on a major label to make way, to have headway as an independent artist. You don't have to do that no more. No longer do you have to do that anymore. My buddy owns one of the biggest companies that fund artists. It's a royalty company. They fund artists. I've taken Frank McComb there. If you guys don't know who Frank McComb is, go look him up. They've advanced Frank McComb money and tons of other artists I've taken over there. They're one of the biggest companies that do this. You have investors who are now setting money aside just to invest in the music industry. Once again, this is how much the music industry is generating. I want you to understand. $17.1 billion in streaming services. $17.1 billion it is generating. Samari Shine, you're an artist too, right? You got to get on top of this, y'all. There is room for independent artists, and you don't have to be at the bottom of the bucket. It depends on how your business is structured. If you are an artist who is in the studio who's constantly cutting records and dropping them, putting albums out, putting singles out, putting albums out, you are building your catalog that gives you negotiating power to utilize in whatever way you want. To go get that money is what you want. Not only that, it helps you build a solid career. Many times I've had radio stations interview me, and the first thing they say is, man, I've researched your catalog, bro. You got a lot of songs. Stone, you got a lot of songs. So all I'm saying to you is there's power in catalog. If you just stop talking, stop worrying about if it's going to work or not, get in the studio, start dropping records, build your catalog. It's a numbers game. Catalog is power. Once again, it is a numbers game. You're talking to somebody that knows. Big Shot LaFunk. LaFunque. There's money in this business, you guys. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. I call it, listen, y'all want to know what I call it? The new music industry, the digital business, I call it the Walmart theory of music. When you go into Walmart, hey, Benjamin said music can have a shelf life even way past its art. Absolutely. What's good, Levi? Let me tell y'all something. You know how many records I put out and I look up and that record has went back up into the top 100 R&B USA or R&B USA UK or Spain? You know how often that happens? I'm like, oh shit, my record's back in the charts again. Record has no expiration date. It's not like food. There's no expiration date on music. Now, I will say there's expiration date on music that ain't talking about shit. If you ain't talking about nothing, there sure is an expiration date. Because eventually we're going to be older than we are younger. There ain't nobody going to be listening to no kill music or unlife music. We ain't going to be listening to that when we're in our 70s and 60s. Ain't nobody going to be listening to that. The truth. So the only expiration date music has is based on what you talking about. If it's some real derogatory, bad shit, and just imagine, would you be listening to something like that in your 60s and 70s? Media Network said, just don't be a snake like Cheryl Cooley. Stone knows what I'm talking about. Members of the group stealing other, yeah. Yeah, you can't steal people music, y'all. You got to be fair. It's enough money for everybody. You hear what my boy Media Network just said? And CC Funk said throwaway music. Absolutely, CC. These cats don't know. They're making music that ain't even doing nothing, not even helping. That's not even going to be considered timeless music. It's going to be considered time X music, not timeless. Because ain't nobody going to be paying attention to it when they in their 60s and 50s and 70s. We're going to be older than we are younger. Remember that. Thus the reason for making quality music. I'm speaking to the independent artists that want to live by quality music ethics. Nothing else. The digitographer said, right. Benjamin said, that's low vibrational music. This is why Motown and all kinds of ballads stand the test of time. Let me tell you guys how thrilled I am when I day to day I check my songs, what radio stations are playing my songs. And man, I'm so amazed when I see some of my older songs that are getting regular radio play. And I go, dang, this is crazy. This is crazy. Because mind you, some of you guys might not hear me on your local station in your local town, right? L'inquisitive say, I don't know any of it. I only listen to 80s and 90s. Me too. Benjamin said, excuse me for spelling. Please, no, it's okay. I mess up talking sometimes. L'inquisitive said, I had to jump in on it. No, absolutely, L'inquisitive, I'm with you. CC said, you'll never get sick of baby making music. Digitographer said, bring back the audio files. Absolutely. The digitographer, have you heard any of my music? If not, please go to Spotify, follow Stone Paxton. You'll love it. The Media Network say there's no Motown no more. Motown is a disgrace. The historical value is no more, and it's all about who's trending. Facts. We're going to be older than we are younger. I love the fact that this is why I spend my time writing quality music. When I look up my radio numbers, y'all, when I do this, and I go, let me see how many stations are playing me today. And I look at it, and I go, damn, there's 30 radio stations playing Stone Paxton today. There's over 20, 30, 40,000 radio stations and plus digital. Actually, more than that. There's no reason an independent artist cannot be successful if you're giving people quality music. I see my publishing checks. I see my mechanical checks. My records are streaming. My records are making me money. They are playing my records. There's a lot of artists you've never heard of who are getting really nice checks off of publishing that you never heard of. So even though you might not hear nobody playing me in your city, or you might get lucky sometime, be like, damn, I heard Stone's song on the radio in my city. Make no mistake that I'm not getting radio play. I'm getting a lot of radio play, you guys. Trust me. So much so that it blows my mind. It blows my mind because a lot of these stations have been picking up my music without me paying. Now, typically when I start a radio campaign, I pay for it. But then after that, it's up to the stations if they keep playing. And guess what? I've been so fortunate that stations have my music in rotation and they keep it in rotation. The digitographer say, are you collecting proper mechanicals from all these platforms? The digitographer, I know you don't know my history, but I'm a gatekeeper. Celebrities come to me to help them get their music on point, to help them get their music back right, their publishing and copyright. I was helping Angie Stone collect the money that was owed on her from her publishing that was being stolen from her. I was the one that she mentioned me and my brother before she passed. We were part of helping her get her money back, plus her residency here in Vegas. So people come to me for exactly what you say. I know my stuff in and out. I make sure that I'm first okay before I help anybody. That's the reason I say to artists that this works, because I know, because I implement it. I have tons of records that have charted over and over again. Over and over again. Sweet Rain says, Stone Paxton, I still love that track that you played on the live. I want my Rick Ross all over that track. It was on the live where you said we can help you help me write a song. That one. Yeah, I remember that track. I don't hear Rick Ross on it, but he could do something on it. Benjamin said, excuse me, my question, I know it's basic, bro. Please briefly explain the difference between writing and mechanicals. Well, writing is publishing. Writing, when you say writing lyrics and producing, that's publishing. Mechanicals is the physical side, like downloads and physical record sales and sheet music. No, sorry. Sheet music will go on the publishing side. So mechanicals will be your downloads. You know what I'm saying? Like your downloads, your physical nobody's really selling physical, but that used to be mechanical. So, but now they're shifted to digital downloads, like iTunes downloads, all that. That's considered mechanicals. Stone is the only artist I know who keeps his world. Stone is the only artist I know, Media Network said, who keeps his word. And he has commercials. He is very professional. Yes, sir. Thank you, Media Network 951. You already know me, bro. We talk all the time. We talk all the time. You know. Right? He know how I am. Digitographer said, these people need your services. You should start a service for that. I do have a service for that, but I don't really push it. The digitographer, I don't really push it. Like if an artist come on live and they need my help, most of it is word of mouth. A lot of celebrities contact me. Most independent artists don't want to pay. They want everything for free. So I don't push my services to independent artists because most of them, they just not ready for the real. They rather continue to allow their careers to be exactly where it's at, stagnant. So most of the people that approach me are industry people. And so I make my services available for everyone, but it's the industry people that are serious that step to the table. Media Network says, I think that's going to change. And they bring it back to physical releases. Yeah. I mean, I will continue to do physical releases. Timothy Potts said, Brother Stone is the man. He's the best. Blessed to have him as a friend. Listen, Brother Timothy, I'm blessed to have you as a friend. You're a great person. I appreciate good people. And you're a good dude, man. I can't wait to meet you. Media Network said there's a fee. There's definitely a fee. There's a fee. You guys know how many records that I've broken for artists? I've had so many records break. I've had so many of my records break. So many. I got so many independent records that have broken. Tons. I mean, if you think about it, do you know? I want you to understand. I want you guys to understand how hard it's not to break a record. It's hard to break a record. Doing stuff like this, it wasn't easy to make this happen. I want everyone to understand. This is 100% independent. It was not easy. Wasn't. This stuff is not easy, y'all. I don't want nobody to think it's easy. It's not. But if you're consistent and you know the business, it becomes easier to understand. If you're consistent, and I got tons, I got over, oh my God, 48 top 5, top 100 charting records independently, you guys, from Billboard to iTunes to. It's not easy, though. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. But when you know the business, it becomes easy. Oh, you heard that? Did you hear that record? You got to hear this one record I did on Orlando that I have not released yet, Media Network. Leanne said, you need money to receive it, and that's what people don't understand. This does cost money, and it takes a whole lot of it, time and hard work. Editing and all of it, it's a lot of work. It's just like YouTube. Y'all think that content creators get on here and we just do a video and that's it. You don't understand the editing and the time that it takes in doing this stuff. And the music industry is 10 times that. You got to put a record out and hope that somebody likes your music. You have to put a record out and hope that somebody will stream your music. Benjamin said Angie should have gotten paid for every time they played her song on Girlfriends and reruns for life. I don't understand, nor will I ever why she didn't write that into a contract. She got a one-time pay. Well, what it was that was the record company, because believe me, the record company was getting paid. Trust and believe me. The record company was getting paid Angie Stone's money. Don't believe the hype. Trust me when I tell you. Oh, they was getting paid, and they're still getting paid. The company that administered her publishing, they're still getting paid. Listen, I own my masters. I own my publishing. What's the downfall to being an independent artist? You got to come up with your own marketing dollars. What is the rewards? The rewards are you get to keep control of your publishing. But here's the thing. What good is it to keep control of your publishing if you don't know how to market your records so that your publishing makes money and it becomes valuable? That's the reason why I say catalog is power. Because if you can't get a hit on one song, then you release a catalog of music, of quality music, and eventually it's going to make you money. I'm telling you what I know. As long as you are releasing quality music and you have a catalog and stations are playing your music, everything you drop, they're going to play. I have DJs who play my music religiously. I have DJs who will contact me and say, Stone, I'm still playing your history song. Stone, I started back playing your history song. I'm like, really? Yeah, that's my favorite song, my friend, mate. The guys from the UK, mate, I love history, mate. I play history every day, mate. I said, wow, dang. But you know I got a new single. Yeah, mate, I'm playing that too, mate. But I love history, mate. I just love that song, mate. The digitographer said IRS and record companies need each other. Time after time. Facts. Sweet Rain said, I wish it was Wade. They will stop getting paid off of her name. Sweet Rain, let me tell you something. Sooner or later, this Angie Stone situation is going to be fixed. Sooner or later, it's going to have to be fixed. I just want everyone on here watching to know. Sooner or later, Angie Stone is going to get justice, not just for her music, but for everything that she has went through. And whatever really happened to her, it is going to surface to the top. You ever cook a cake in the oven? You see how it rises? The yeast rises. It's going to come to fruition. No need for no one to worry. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer than we expect. But I want y'all to remember what I'm saying today. The truth is going to prevail. You can't stop it. Benjamin said, do record companies encourage unsuspecting and naive folks to not get counsel? Angie should have known. Tamara said, yep. Leanne said, it certainly will. They don't encourage them not to know, but they don't push them to know either. They say, seek your own attorney. Most of them say, it'll say it in the paperwork to seek your own attorney for legal advice. They will say that it does say that in the contracts. Oh, Brother Benjamin, let me tell you something. History, listen, I'm not jocking myself, y'all. I'm not good at jocking myself. But I will say one thing. I write some great music. I do. I mean, it's okay to brag about ourselves a little bit. I write great music. Not because I try, but because I live that. I live the stories, or I write the stories about my friends that I see, or what's around me. That's why it's so organic and so real. That's why when you feel my music, I dare anybody that has never heard any of my music to go listen to it. And I promise you, you will come back and say, Stone Paxton, you all right, my dude. You all right, my dude. Sharon Allison said, Angie Stone said God told her to speak out on that last slide. That's why I paid attention. Tamara said, I don't think it's bragging. It's something to be proud of. Tamara, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. Sharon, I'm going to share something with you. Angie called me one morning. Angie Stone said, Stoney? I said, yes, Stoney. Because she would call me Stoney, I would call her Stoney. She said, that's our inside thing, like our inside thing with each other. She said, people going to look at us and be like, what's wrong with them?
We're going to call each other Stony and Stony, baby, okay? And they're going to be like, why are they calling each other that? You say Stony, I say Stony. I said, okay, sis, that's what we're going to do. So henceforth, us calling each other Stony. So she called me, and she said, Stony, I'm going live today. I said, okay, cool. She said, but I'm telling it all. I said, what you going to talk about, Stony? She said, I'm going to tell everything. She said, I'm going to talk about this label. I said, oh, no. I said, Stony. I said, nah, we can't do that. I said, let me call my brother and put him on the line. She said, yeah, call him so he can see, so I could tell him too what I'm going to do. I said, yeah, because we need to make sure, because we're in the middle of collecting your royalties and setting up this Vegas residency, so we don't want nothing to mess that up. She said, okay. I picked up the phone and I called my brother and I explained to him, I said, Angie's on the phone. She has something to tell you. And then I briefly gave him an idea. I said, she kind of wants to go on live, but I'm going to let her tell you what she wants to do. And she said, yeah, I'm going to go on live and I'm going to talk. I'm going to say this and say that and say that. Right? Thank you, Sweet Rain. Malara said the ones behind Angie's demise will not get away. No, they won't. With this, they will be brought. Yes, they will. That's a fact. So my brother tells Angie the same thing I said. He said, no. I said, that's what I told her too, bro. He said, please. Now is not the time. Wait until we have everything back in your hands and your Vegas residency. Wait till later to do it. Then you could talk about anything you want to talk about. Let's just get this stuff done. We don't want to cause any problems for what we're trying to do, is what my brother said to her. She said, okay. She got off the phone. But what we didn't know is she continued to move forward, and she did it anyway. Was I mad at her? I was mad at her because she's not here, and I wanted her to be here. And that's kind of being selfish of me, wanting her to be here, right? I have to accept that whatever happened, happened. But I was mad that she did it because I was trying to figure out what happened afterwards so quick after she did that. So I was upset about it. I was upset with tears, like, why did you talk on that? But you know what, you guys, I had to come to a conclusion. That was Angie's truth, and she had to do what she felt like she had to do, and I could not be mad at that. MediaNet said Diamond is a hot ghetto mess. Well, you guys saw what I had to go through with Diamond online, with her having her father call me. Digitographer said, Angie Stone, wish I didn't miss you, as well ingrained in the UK. Yes, it is. Up there with all the, yes, it is. It's up there. She's cemented in history. Media Networks says, Stone, the great human being. Listen, that day that Diamond had her dad call me, and he tried to gangster up on the phone because I did a YouTube post that said, the diamond is not a stone. She went back and told her father that I said that her last name wasn't Stone. And instead of him calling me with respect, the ignorant ninja, he got on the phone and really didn't listen to what was said, thinking I'm talking about his daughter, her last name, like I was saying she wasn't a stone, when it was a metaphor. The diamond is not a stone. And you guys get that, right? If I said the diamond is not a stone, it's a metaphor. So this guy was yelling on the phone, talking crazy. Meech was on. I called Meech up. Meech was on the phone. Meech, I asked him what his problem was. He told Meech, I ain't talking to you. Meech said, well, you're talking to us. And then Meech told him, I said this and said that. Meech, I can't remember what it was. He said something, but he never responded to me. So him and Meech he said some crazy shit to Meech. Meech said some crazy shit back to him because it was totally disrespectful. Meech told him, because he was saying some shit to me, like, he said some weird stuff like, when I call you, you need to answer. So Meech told him, nah, he don't have to answer shit. Why does he have to answer your call when you call? Because when he called me, I was hanging my phone up because I didn't know who he was. I do that with anybody. Anybody that calls me and I don't know you, I'm not going to answer my phone. Just to bring you guys up to speed, because when Media Network said what he said. Lil Rodney, Media Network said. That's his name, Lil Rodney, right? Her dad. So when he called me, he was talking real crazy, y'all. So Meech just trying to get him to calm down and have a conversation with us. He wouldn't come down for me. He wouldn't come down for Meech. So he turned it up. So Meech turned that motherfucker up. And Meech let him know, I'll come see you. Then he started saying, I got people in Vegas. I'll come see y'all. We was like, come, motherfucker, come see us. Him and Meech went back and forth. And Meech let him know again. And eventually, he stopped. Now, none of that had to happen. And then I say to him, yeah, History's a great song. I love it. Thank you, Godfrey. I say to him, brother, you understand a metaphor, right? You're a writer. You're an artist. He said, yeah, I understand metaphors. I say, so what I said on my post was the diamond is not a stone, it's a metaphor. Then he goes, I understand. Oh, I get, oh, okay. Well, that's all you had to say. And I was like, what a dumb ninja. And I said, bro, come on, man. You didn't know that was a metaphor? Sacro Thread say, hey, Stone, I've been trying to locate the join link. Sacro, are you on your phone or are you on your computer? If you're on your phone, you need to download the YouTube app. You got to download the app on your phone. Then you can join and you can become a member. I think that's the mistake that's going on. If you're not on the app, you got to join the app. And then you got to download the app. Then you can join. So download the app on your phone, then you can join Sacral Threads. So yeah, her dad, he banged on me on the phone. Okay, download the app, Sacral Threads. What's up, Cora? Oh, I had to. You know, my hair still, it was just a little bit higher, but it was still a pompadour, Cora. Okay, so Rodney is from a group called the Funky 4 Plus. No one, Little Rodney Stone, I want to be a gangster. Media Network is a friend of Little Rodney, so he only got me cracking up. He said, Little 4 Plus, no one, Little Rodney Stone, I want to be a gangster. Listen, Meech set his ass straight that day. Media Network say he played his career in Legacy. The Inquisitive say he doesn't know. It's crazy because he's a writer. He's from the group The Funky 4 Plus 1. He's a writer, so he should know what a metaphor. But that day when he came at me crazy, I was trying to calm him and Meech down, but he disrespected Meech because he was trying to talk to Meech like he tried to talk to me. And Meech wasn't having that shit. Meech checked the fuck out of him. Yeah, real story. He checked the fuck out of him. And he got quiet as fuck when Meech checked. I'm just calling it what it was. He got quiet as fuck. I kind of felt bad for him a little bit. I felt bad for him. I said, damn, Meech, check the fuck out this dude. He got quiet. Then all of a sudden he hung up on us. Yeah, y'all, he hung up on us. Same dude that was calling me in a harassing way hung the phone up when Meech checked the fuck out of him. He hung up the phone on us and Meech laughed like, look at that shit. You know, and Angie told me this. She told me both of those men were not fathers to her kids. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. I'm just telling you what Angie said. She told me neither one of them was there for their kids. But he was on the phone talking shit to me. He even said, y'all using my wife's legacy. Nigga, shut up. Ninja, shut up. That's what he was trying to say. Your wife's legacy, you were not even married to her. And if you believed in the legacy, you would have been there taking care of your children. But once again, he was trying to gangster up on me on the phone. I mean, really. Diamond definitely was raised by her grandparents and her mom. He wasn't nowhere around. But he tried to get on that phone and save face with his daughter. I believe she was on the phone listening. I believe she was listening. But when she heard the clap back, I'm sure she realized her dad wasn't as tough as she thought he was. I'm sure she realized, damn, I thought my dad was gangster. Shit. Damn, man, he got clapped back on that phone that night. I'm sure she felt that way because she started that mess. Media Network say he's a nobody who was in one movie called Wild Side. Once again, Media Network knows him very well. Damaged Kisses says she needs a muzzle, like for real. Sorry, not sorry. Listen, we calling it for what it is, y'all. That's some of the stuff I've been through on this YouTube, y'all. For those of you that just subscribing to my channel, I've been through a lot, and I've weathered the storm. I weathered the storm. Listen, I've kept you guys on far too long today, but I love you. I appreciate you. I think I went longer than I typically went, but I just think that you have taken your time and got on it. Now, I might go on later where I'm just on my MPC making beats for my MPC followers who's been asking me. I might just go on and you'll see me just creating music later, okay? Peace and love. And if not, if you miss me later, catch me tomorrow, 11 a.m., same time. Lights in the back are so beautiful. Yeah, I love my lights. Thank you, Leanne. Hey, peace to all my stoners. I love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow, 11 a.m. But I will be on possibly later, and I'm only going to be doing production and maybe talking to you while I'm making tracks, okay? Peace and love, and I'm out.